Hey everyone, per your requests, I'm starting Soul Land 5, The Rebirth of Tang San today. My channel isn't monetized, so if you're able to, please support me on PayPal to help me stay active. Thank you. Now, let's get back to the story of Soul Land 5, The Rebirth of Tang San.
The pursuer behind was not slow either. Bursts of lightning continuously erupted, felling trees in a ferocious bombardment. More terrifyingly, a vast expanse of lightning was accumulating above its head, and it was clearly preparing for a wide-range attack on Tang San. Tang San did not run toward the direction of the academy and Appo's small town but instead toward the mountainside. Before alerting the upper echelons of Kali Academy, he had to escape from his pursuer. Otherwise, he would face serious trouble. How could Dubai and Appo's luck fail me? I didn't even feel any sense of misfortune until the last second. Yet I couldn't and Appo's to even make it into Kali Academy. Really? Leopard Flash. Leopard Flash, Leopard Flash. At this moment, Tang San used Leopard Flash like it was nothing, his figure darting away swiftly like a shooting star. The figure behind him let out continuous roars, no less thunderous than the lightning crackling around it, as it flew through the air in rapid pursuit. Below its feet was a huge sphere of lightning, with a vast expanse of lightning converging above its head. With a fierce wave of its hand, dozens of lightning bolts descended from the sky, covering all directions where Tang San could escape. Tang San pushed the ghost shadow perplexing track as far as he could, but even in combination with Leopard Flash, it had a limit. To save his life, he could no longer care about exposing himself. He prepared to activate the Chrono Croc transformation and use Time Freeze if lightning approached, giving himself a chance to escape. With the perception of the discerning eye of heaven, he could make that decision in a split second. But at that moment, Tang San suddenly felt an intense heat surge in his eyes. The next instant, his sea of consciousness exploded. Tang San felt as if a third eye, a vertical one, was rising above his head, and a flash of white light instantly enveloped his body. His sea of consciousness seemed to boil for a moment, experiencing a significant surge in an instant. The lightning element demon pursuing Tang San from behind was also surprised, as it discovered that under its wide-range lightning attack, the other party was somehow dodging using some kind of weird footwork, and not a single bolt of lightning was hitting its mark. Just as it prepared to continue the pursuit, suddenly, the lightning ball under its feet became unstable, and the next moment a muffled thunder echoed. As natural lightning filled the sky, the lightning ball beneath the demon's feet erupted violently, frightening it into a quick backflip. The lightning ball transformed into hundreds of electric beams, exploding and covering the view ahead with blinding light. Why the heck did it suddenly explode? The lightning element demon youth, upon landing, was filled with a mix of shock and anger. By the time it thought to pursue again, it had already lost sight and sense of the other party. Soon after, a powerful individual from Kali Academy arrived. "Luo Huanyu, what happened?" asked the monstrous demon teacher. "A petty thief, not very strong. I think it was from the Flash Leopard tribe. It was constantly using Leopard Flash and seemed to be at the fourth order. It was pretty thin, so it might be a human vassal of the Flash Leopard tribe," replied the demon youth Luo Huanyu. "A fourth order petty thief and you couldn't and Appo's to even catch it? Can you be any more useless?" The burly demon teacher bellowed angrily. Luo Huanyu and Appo's mouth twitched slightly. "Teacher, it and Appo's not my fault. Just now, my lightning ball exploded suddenly because it was influenced by natural lightning, and he escaped while I was trying to control it." The teacher and Appo's nose twitched and his eyes blazed with even greater anger. "You and Appo's we been drinking, Haven and Appo's tea, you rascal. Drunk to the point you can and Appo's to even control a lightning ball, you and Appo's simply useless. Wait till we get back and see how I deal with you." I and Appo's am sorry, teacher," Luo Huanyu said helplessly. Indeed, he had drunk quite a bit with two classmates. However, he had an inherently strong perception of the lightning element and he was a very diligent cultivator of the lightning element. He had noticed Tang San immediately when he felt the energy of the lightning change in the surroundings. To some extent, Leopard Flash used the power of electricity for movement so he could naturally sense it. In any case, Luo Huanyu was absolutely pissed. What could a fourth-order flash leopard petty thief even do if it infiltrated the academy? Wasn't this just making a fuss over nothing? And now, he had been caught red-handed by the teacher. When these students went out to have fun, the teachers generally turned a blind eye. But being caught in the act was another matter entirely, and punishment was inevitable. Don and Oppos. T let me catch you or I and Oppos. I'll tear you apart, Luo Huanyu muttered venomously, looking in the direction Tang San had vanished. The next moment, the demon teacher grabbed him by the neck and dragged him back. Tang San zigzagged through Kali City. After confirming that he had shaken off his pursuer, he finally found a dark hiding place. His breathing was clearly rapid, but there was a strange expression on his face. When his sea of consciousness boiled, he understood something. The luck bestowed upon him by Hadden and Oppos. T disappeared, let alone failed. His previous judgment about his luck had been correct. There was no real danger. More importantly, under the pressure of the pursuit from behind, the discerning eye of heaven finally advanced. That invisible vertical eye rising above my head was the manifestation of the celestial fox vision. For the first time, he felt the powerful force of luck. At this moment, the sky was filled with rolling thunder, and raindrops had begun to fall. Was this a coincidence? No, it was luck. True luck. The lightning ball under the feet of the demon pursuing him exploded suddenly. Was that a coincidence? No, of course it was also luck. The fact that I could escape all the thunderbolts using the ghost shadow perplexing track, and the leopard flash was also due to luck. The luck brought by the fourth order celestial fox vision. After all this luck had been bestowed upon him, Tang San now felt like his whole body was on the verge of collapse. Only by cultivating to replenish his energy could he feel somewhat better. An important thing to note was that his own cultivation level was at the 6th order, and a 6th order body had problems enduring the backlash of a 4th order bloodline. The effect was ridiculously intense. This showed Tang San how difficult it was for Dubai to cultivate the celestial fox vision, and why the latter felt weak every day after exhausting his own spiritual power. But he had truly witnessed the celestial fox vision in Oppos' power today, and even someone like him was thoroughly impressed. His pursuer was an 8th order powerhouse, while the celestial fox vision was only at the 4th order. And yet the luck bestowed upon Tang San by the 4th order celestial fox vision rendered his 8th order opponent unable to pursue him. Although there was a backlash, what if my celestial fox vision was stronger? Would it cause the other guy to be killed by his own lightning? This celestial fox transformation felt like a unique gift. The 4th order discerning eye of heaven was his greatest gain tonight. At this moment, despite enduring waves of weakness, he could feel the spiritual power in his sea of consciousness further condensing, allowing for more space to accommodate spiritual energy. Only slightly over a tenth of his sea of consciousness was filled with liquid spiritual power. Compared to his body and Oppos' capacity to bear the energy of the mysterious heaven technique, his sea of consciousness could hold a far vaster amount of spiritual power, supporting him all the way to the peak of the 9th order without any issue. He had to further enhance his discerning eye of heaven. The celestial fox vision was important, but the original discerning eye and its components were also useful. Now that the celestial fox vision had improved, he could find a way to enhance the others and improve the overall discerning eye of heaven before the next upgrade of the celestial fox vision. Of course, even though Dubai and Oppos' current rate of cultivation was much faster than before, pushing forward the celestial fox vision was still a challenge. It might take at least a year or two to reach a higher level. The 4th order, which allowed him to directly bestow luck upon himself, was sufficient for now. He was finally taking control of his own fate, quite literally. After resting for more than an hour and observing the direction of Kali Academy, Tang San finally took a detour and quietly returned to the town. When Tang San returned to his room, he felt waves of weakness assailing his mind. Not just mental fatigue, but an overall weakening of his vital essence and spirit. His formidable spiritual power, and the incessant vitality of the mysterious heaven technique, made enduring this weakness much easier. Had it been Dubai, he would have been rendered unconscious just like before. The celestial fox vision was unquestionably a unique gift, yet its users were bound to experience physical frailty, the price for wielding control over fortune. Tang San and Oppos' uniqueness lay in his ability to control multiple bloodline abilities simultaneously, transcending the norms of this world thanks to the mysterious heaven technique. To this world, he was an independent, external anomaly, but with his successive integration of chrono-croc transformation and celestial fox transformation, it was as if he had deceived this plane of existence, becoming a part of this world. According to Guanlongjiang and Apos, accounts about demonic god transformation and the bloodlines of demon and nymph clans, it was not unheard of to find beings with 2 or sometimes even more bloodlines. Usually, those with dual bloodlines could have amazing talent in either or both. Those with multiple bloodlines, however, were almost invariably weaklings, as the purity of each bloodline wasn't strong enough for them to cultivate into powerful beings. However, Tang San was different. The most significant distinction was that his bloodline improvement didn't come as a result of inheritance, but through devouring and absorbing the bloodline power of others, using the mysterious heaven technique to transform it into new bloodline imprints or further enhance those he already had. In theory, as long as his body could endure it, all his bloodline imprints could become stronger at the same time. These imprints actually aligned with the martial soul and martial rings of his previous life. Today was the first time Tang San truly experienced the power of the celestial fox vision. With its sudden advancement to the 4th order, he managed to prevent an 8th order powerhouse from pursuing him due to sheer luck. And this was only the 4th order. To ordinary people, luck seemed elusive, but he, who was once a god king, understood clearly that luck was indeed a part of strength, and a very important part at that. Could he have traversed to the Soul Land universe after his suicide in his first life if not for luck? Could he have grown to become a god king? A uniquely blessed existence? Could he have found the reincarnation of his former wife shortly after arriving in this world? Certainly there were chances, but how high were those chances? No, all these events were tied to luck. Upon first arriving in this world, Tang San was filled with unease, particularly about what his wife and Apos' reincarnation would become. Seeing the Wind Wolf clan sacrifice human women on altars filled his heart with immense fear. He was truly terrified that his wife might become one of those sacrificed. But luck still favored him, allowing him to finally find his wife. And it seemed that his reincarnated wife was faring quite well in this world, born into an exceptionally good family far surpassing ordinary humans. Thus, after arriving in this world, Tang San grew to believe even more in luck, until finally he now possessed the ability to harness it. The 4th order of the celestial fox vision would undoubtedly be of great assistance to him, allowing him to comprehend the mysteries of the celestial fox vision further. His celestial fox transformation came from Dubai. However, without Tang San's assistance, Dubai might never have been able to advance in his lifetime. Now with Tang San and Apos' own bloodline imprint at the same order, his experience and the way he could explore guiding this powerful bloodline with the divine consciousness were things Dubai could not even dream of. Under his guidance, Dubai might continue to advance, and Tang San would improve alongside him, creating a virtuous cycle. He would now have to replenish the drained physical and spiritual energy by meditating and cultivating, absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Thus, Tang San quickly entered a state of deep meditation. Today and Apos' infiltration of the Kali Academy had failed. As a result, the Academy's vigilance might be heightened, which would make further attempts even more difficult. However, the breakthrough of the Celestial Fox transformation made it completely worth it to Tang San, even with the drawbacks of the failed infiltration, especially since that also meant Tang San and Apos' discerning eye of heaven had advanced to the 4th order. At dawn, Dubai faced eastward, practicing his breathing and absorbing the auspicious purple chi from the east with purple demon eyes. Hey Tang, what in Apos' with the dark circles today? Didn't an Apos' sleep well last night? Or did your meditation go sideways? Dubai glanced at Tang San beside him. While absorbing the purple chi, Tang San shook his head and said, I didn't rest well yesterday. I had some things on my mind and I couldn't an Apos' meditate properly. Dubai patted his shoulder, looking like someone who had been through it all. Don and Apos, overthink it. You and Apos already doing great. Just keep it up. Once I become stronger, I and Apos, I'll have your back. My fortune will accompany you, granting you the greatest of luck. Tang San smiled, thanks for that. Alright, let and Apos, do it now. Dubai nodded. This was his recent cultivation routine. Every early morning, after practicing the purple demon eyes, he would fully exert the celestial fox vision on Tang San, significantly depleting himself. He would slowly recover during the day and Appo's cultivation and learning, and then do it again in the evening. This continuous process of depletion and recovery made him much more proficient in using the celestial fox vision. Moreover, such application stimulated the growth of his spiritual power, and the power of the celestial fox vision gradually increased. White light flickered in Dubai and Appo's eyes, and vaguely, a white beam of light condensed on his forehead, splitting to both sides and transforming into a vertical eye. A subtle white halo enveloped Tang San, his entire body steaming with white energy. His body momentarily stilled, and the dark circles under his eyes faded somewhat the next moment, making him appear more spirited. As the white light in Dubai and Appo's eyes receded, he showed signs of exhaustion and tapped his forehead. "Whoa, I'm dizzy. That really took it out of me." But I and Appo's am starting to understand how spiritual power links up with the celestial fox vision. The way my spiritual power and Appo's turning into liquid is speeding up big time. I bet in a year at most all the spiritual power in my sea of consciousness will be liquid. And there should be a lot more of it too. Seriously, all credit to the purple demon eyes. Tang San chuckled. It and Appo's all thanks to your hard work. You know I and Appo's been at Kali Academy lately, right? Once I get the hang of things there, if I meet some students I and Appo's LL get them to scout out stuff in the academy and Appo's store that can boost your spiritual power and pick them up for you. Great. Dubai and Appo's eyes lit up. Then I and Appo's LL give you all my money. By the way, when are we going out for practical training? I tell you, we and Appo's all pretty eager. Everyone in Appo's just waiting for you. Tang San and Appo's eyes flickered. Let and Appo's wait another week or two. Let your power stabilize a bit more. Then we and Appo's LL go again. Okay. Dubai instantly felt less tired. The gains from their last training were truly immense. Almost everyone in Appo's strength had improved to varying degrees. Compared with the other two groups, their improvement was much more significant. The eldest senior brother, Wu Bingji, was undoubtedly the top student of the academy, and Gu Li, after learning the disorder-splitting wind hammer technique and advancing his chrono-croc transformation to the fifth order, had improved his already considerable combat power and was now arguably the second strongest after Wu Bingji. Chang Zicheng and Appo's golden rock transformation had also reached the fifth order, and her use of the golden wing-splitting wind slash was becoming more and more proficient. She was invincible in the recent internal sparring sessions, defeating many previously stronger opponents. Without a doubt, all these changes were the result of their last expedition. Now everyone was eager to go out for training again. Tang San was aware of their eagerness, but simply couldn't and Appo's let go of Mei Gongzi. With the blessing of fortune, he almost always caught a glimpse of her at Kali Academy, whether intentionally or not. Even just a distant view of her made him feel particularly at ease. Moreover, his plan was still in progress, and although it would take some more time to succeed, it was already halfway there. Today was the day he worked at Kali Academy. Saying goodbye to Dubai, Tang San took his leave and soon arrived at the Kali Academy. Upon entering through the back door, he observed the area for a few moments and noticed no apparent changes in defense. It made sense. Though he had used Leopard Flash in front of a student, his ability was only at the fourth order. Kali Academy Wooden and Appo's pay much attention to a fourth order thief. However, students wanting to sneak out at night might face unfortunate consequences. Once inside Kali Academy, Tang San first went to the small house to fetch some items, then headed to the main academic building and Appo's plaza to clean everything as usual. His recent stint at work had familiarized him with the place, at least with some of the human vassals working there. Young, sensible, and hard-working, Tang San was well regarded by the human vassal staff. Old Mao in particular was very satisfied with him. Whatever task was assigned to Tang San, he would complete it well, never complaining even if it wasn't an Appo's his job and simply doing whatever was asked of him. Frequently cleaning the plaza, Tang San was occasionally noticed by passing students. However, as an unremarkable human vassal youth busy with his chores, He naturally didn't and oppose T attract much attention. As Tang San swept the ground, he concentrated on his vision and quietly activated his discerning eye of heaven. Combining the powerful abilities of the discerning heart and Appo's gaze, falcon eye, and celestial fox vision, the world before Tang San and Appo's eyes immediately became a kaleidoscope of colors. Various types of natural energies in the air were visible to him, and with the guidance of Tang San and Appo's spiritual power, these energies selectively converged toward him. Just as the celestial fox vision at the fourth level evolved from merely sensing to controlling fortune, the discerning eye of heaven had a similar evolution. Not only could it see more subtle changes and previously invisible energy fluctuations, but it could also attract these energies to a certain extent, either integrating them into his body for cultivation or altering their distribution. While sweeping, he quietly observed the different energy fluctuations within the academy. He quickly located the array and Appo's energy that served as the alarm system for Kali Academy and Appo's entire defense system. This alarm array created an invisible energy barrier that enveloped the academy. Such a barrier would require tremendous energy to defend against strong enemies. However, a thin layer was sufficient for mere warning purposes. This thin layer of energy was pale red and nearly invisible. Without the discerning eye of heaven, even Tang San and Appo's liquid spiritual power would have found it difficult to detect this energy. Now, not only could he see it, but he could also faintly sense the circulation of the energy and the patterns it formed as it flowed. This was precisely what Tang San hoped to achieve. As he learned these patterns and flows, he could sense their changes and then try to merge into these energy currents by controlling the energy around his own body. Once successful, when he crossed the alarm barrier again, he would be treated as a part of it, seamlessly blending in rather than triggering the alarm. If successful, he would not need to use the door. He could simply scale the wall. Moreover, this alarm system was fundamentally similar to the one at the store, which meant that it greatly aided Tang San and Appo's study of the entire system. Additionally, through his observations, Tang San discovered that apart from the alarm array, another array also covered the entire academy, an energy condensation array. This array was simpler in structure than the alarm array, but its effect was orders of magnitude greater. It absorbed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth into Kali Academy, making the spiritual energy here far richer than in the outside world. Only 2 arrays covered the entire academy, both serving important functions. However, in Tang San and Appo's view, these arrays were rather rudimentary. If he had the required cultivation and resources, he could easily create arrays far superior to these. Through his observations with the discerning eye of heaven, he had almost completely figured out the alarm array in just one day. In a few more days he should achieve his goal. After a day of sweeping, Tang San was preparing to return to the academy and Appo's town, counting the small houses and walking along the familiar route back. Suddenly, he sensed something and saw 2 figures approaching from a distance. When he saw them, Tang San and Appo's steps subconsciously halted, his mouth turned downward slightly, and his gaze sharpened. Mei Gongzi looked beautiful as usual in her school uniform, and the long hair she had tied up revealed her slender white neck. Sadly, she was accompanied by the golden lion dog, who seemed to be conversing with her. Tang San lowered his head and continued walking, heading in their direction along the roadside. Come with us to the Kali mountain range for training this time. Don and Appo's worry. With my protection, even if we encounter a 9th order demon beast, we can handle it. You and Appo's missed it several times already, and I think the teachers are starting to notice, said the golden lion dog. Oh, I and Appo's think about it, Mei Gongzi responded indifferently. What an Appo's there to consider? Do you have any concerns? Let and Appo's go together, there one and Appo's be any accidents. Field training is something all students above the 4th year must experience. Next year we and Appo's be taking the exams for the 6th year, and the scores from field training count for quite a bit. I and Appo's make sure you get a good share of the gains this time to ensure your training score. When do we leave? Asked Mei Gongzi. 5 days from now. That and Appo's the plan. We and Appo's explore the habitat of the winged tigers. There was some unrest in their area recently. I am not sure why. So this training mission is to investigate the winged tiger area, the golden lion dog said excitedly. As Tang San passed them by, Mei Gongzi glanced in his direction but said nothing. Tang San, however, heard every word of their conversation. Field training in the winged tiger habitat? The golden lion dog clearly had ulterior motives. Field training meant close contact day and night, not to mention outdoor camping. He was definitely seeking a chance to get close to Mei Gongzi. The audacity! How could this be allowed? Tang San subconsciously clenched his fists. Training, huh? What a coincidence, Dubai just asked when we're going out for training again. However, there would be a teacher accompanying them. Could he disrupt the golden lion dog and Appo's plans under the teacher and Appo's supervision? Perhaps only if the mayor, who was familiar with the details, accompanied them. Yes, he needed to plan well and accelerate the implementation of his previous plan. With these thoughts, Tang San made up his mind. After the golden lion dog and Mei Gongzi left, Tang San did not choose to return to the Redemption Academy. Instead, he went back to the small house. He respectfully approached Old Mao, who was about to finish his meal. Old Mao, I have something I and Appo's like to discuss with you. What in Appo's the matter, little Tang? Old Mao asked with a smile. Tang San said, the mayor has tasked me with an errand in 5 days, which might require me to be away for a few days. Do you think I could work continuously for the next few days, then leave to complete the mayor and Appo's task and return to work afterward? Old Mao thought momentarily and replied, that should be fine. Clean up the square a bit more these days, and I'll have someone cover for you. Do you know how many days you'll be away? Tang San nodded and answered, it's not decided yet. I must wait for the mayor's instructions, but it shouldn't be more than 10 days at most. Old Mao nodded in agreement. All right, good. Let me know once you have a confirmed schedule. After thanking Old Mao, Tang San returned to the Redemption Academy village. Instead of returning to the academy, he headed straight for the mayor and Appo's place. Master, I think we should go out for another training expedition. When Zhang Haoxuan heard Tang San and Appo's words, the first thing he felt was a headache. The results of the last expedition were astonishing, leading Dubai and Guli to make breakthroughs and advance in the 2 most valued demonic god transformations of the academy. A great achievement for the academy. However, it also made the positions of these 2 students even more crucial. Going out for another risky expedition? What if something dangerous happened? Seeing his hesitation, Tang San quickly said, Master, there won't be any issues. Last time was just a fluke and we turned things around, right? This time it's different. Dubai's celestial fox vision has hit the 4th order. And with that kind of power we can steer our luck, making this mission smoother. Plus, everyone's gotten stronger, so it'll definitely be easier than before. The other senior brothers reckon we're just lucky, but it's not all about luck. Our skills definitely played a big role too. Everyone learned a lot in the first round of training. Shouldn't we give the second round a shot? Think about it. If we can help Dubai and Guli level up faster, wouldn't that be a win for everyone? Zhang Haoxuan said somewhat helplessly, you really have a way with words. However, if you want to go out for training again, I guess no one will oppose you this time. But you must promise absolutely no risks this time. Tang San smiled wryly. We didn't in Appo's take risks last time either. We just arrived at the edge of the winged tiger and Appo's territory when we encountered it. That wasn't an Appo's our fault, was it? Zhang Haoxuan and Appo's mouth twitched. 3 at once, including a 9th order? Is that also the luck brought by the celestial fox vision? Cough, that definitely won in Appo's happened this time, Tang San said with a chuckle. Zhang Haoxuan thought for a moment and said, okay then. Last time you showed the benefits of training and how well you can adapt. You and Appo's rewrite. The other groups didn't and Appo's get as much out of their training as you did, and that really comes down to skill, especially in leadership. If this training turns out similarly, you and Appo's have further proven your leadership skills, which we value. Based on our thorough analysis, you seem to have a knack for leading. If things go well this time, I will suggest that all 16 of you go together next time, and you and Appo's be in charge. 16 people together? Tang San didn't and Appo's want this in all fairness. It was harder to command and care for more people, and what if casualties occurred? But since Zhang Haoshuan said so, he had no reason to refuse and could only say, "All right, I and Appos, LL listen to you. Then this time please protect us in secret. If we encounter a strong enemy, I and Appos am worried about being discovered using other abilities. If you and Appos going for training, of course I and Appos I'll be the one to protect you in secret. Do I even need to say it?" Zhang Haoshuan said helplessly. In his heart, his disciple was the most important. The chronocroc transformation of Guli, the celestial fox vision of Dubai. This kid knows them all. He and Appos genuinely a spit on the face of heaven, and to me he's the real future of the Redemption Society. Oh, by the way, teacher, just to let you know, my celestial fox vision has also reached the 4th order, Tang San said with a smile. Zhang Haoshuan was speechless. After returning to the academy and having dinner, Tang San immediately found Wu Bingji and told him about the upcoming training expedition. Wu Bingji had recently been engrossed in mastering the control of the secondary explosion of his ice needles. He felt he had made considerable progress and his strength had significantly improved. He readily agreed when he heard that Tang San was organizing another training expedition. Wu Bingji's jaw dropped when he heard Tang San and Appos' destination of choice. Going to the Winged Tiger area again? What if we find the Winged Tiger King again? It definitely wants to tear us to shreds, you know? Tang San chuckled. No worries, our teacher will be with us this time. We Don and Appos need to fear the Winged Tiger King with the teacher around. With our team and Appos' strength dealing with an ordinary 7th order adult Winged Tiger Shuden and Appos be a problem, right? Wu Bingji nodded. Last time they had killed a peak 7th order tiger, and although luck had played a big part, their strength had improved significantly since then. Facing a 7th order winged tiger now might not be as daunting. Then it and Appos settled. You inform the senior brothers and sisters tomorrow morning. I need to take leave for training, so I should be working at Kali Academy these few days. Wu Bingji asked. You and Appos? We've been working there for many days. How is the observation going? Any gains? Tang San grinned. Definitely some gains. You and Appos? I'll know when we go out for training this time. Okay. Wu Bingji trusted Tang San completely. He was now immersed in researching the ice needles. Although he was still far from mastering the soul-chasing cluster ball, the ice needles alone had significantly boosted his attack power. After discussing with Wu Bingji, Tang San didn't and Appos returned to his room to rest. Instead, he returned to the academy town and went straight to the blacksmith shop. Since he was going out for training and had the important task of supervising his rival in love, Tang San was sure he needed to prepare thoroughly. This time he was even more serious than ever, and even more excited. This was his first opportunity to actively approach Mei Gongzi, to track her movements, follow her, and silently protect her from the shadows. The next day, he went to work at Kali Academy as usual, sweeping diligently while observing the alarm array with his discerning eye of heaven. Time was of the essence, and the next step of his plan was to start tonight. While Tang San was busily preparing, Mei Gongzi returned to the milk tea shop after school. Mom, let me help you. Mei Gongzi changed into the shop in Appos' uniform, came to Su Qin and Appos' side and started making milk tea, taking over from her mother. Why did you come back today? Su Qin asked her daughter. Mei Gongzi replied, Song Junho asked me to join the team for an outdoor training expedition to the Winged Tiger area in the Kali Mountains. Su Qin frowned slightly. He just wants to get close to you. It and Appos' better to keep your distance from the heirs of these golden bloodline families, just to be cautious. I know. However, according to Kali Academy and Appos' rules, outdoor training is required. I and Appos' declined a few times before, so this time I had no choice but to agree. Su Qin gently stroked her daughter and Appos' long hair. Then go, but be careful and protect yourself. Don and Appos' worry, Mei Gongzi said with a smile, which she showed only when she was with her mother. Sadly, Tang San Kuden and Appos' witnessed this sight. Otherwise, he would have seen 100 flowers in bloom. Mom, something strange has been happening recently. For some reason, I keep running into this human vassal who works as a cleaner at the academy. Once or twice Wooden and Appos' be odd, but over the past few weeks I and Appos' V met him at least a dozen times in different places. I feel like he and Apos S watching me. A human vassal? What does he look like? Su Qin asked, surprised. Mei Gongzi replied, he and Apos S quite young, younger than me. Oh right, he must have bought milk tea from our shop before. He used to be very skinny, but he seems to have grown taller and looks a bit healthier. Su Qin and Apos S heart stirred. Are you talking about the one who came for the first time and we gave him a cup of milk tea? The one who was staring straight at you? Mei Gongzi nodded. Yes, that, and Apos S him. I Don and Apos T know how he ended up working as a cleaner at Kali Academy recently, but I keep running into him. Well, just be careful. It and Apos S probably not a threat, maybe it's just a coincidence. Take a chance to investigate and see what his demonic god transformation is. Also ask his name, Su Qin said. Tang San knew to leave the Redemption Academy quietly only after everything inside had settled down for the night. He had squeezed every bit of Dubai's energy earlier, and he felt a massive amount of luck surrounding him. With his discerning eye of heaven, he could vaguely see a white light swirling around him. It was definitely a cloud of explosive good fortune. As usual, Redemption Academy was very quiet at night. Tang San planned to sneak in earlier than usual tonight, as he didn't and Apos T intend to take the back door this time. He found a shadowy spot by the courtyard wall and activated his discerning eye of heaven. Instantly, he saw the faint red alarm barrier that extended from the surface of the wall and covered the entire academy like a protective bubble. Tang San took a deep breath, his spiritual power pulsating as he began to adjust his own energy frequency. He didn't and Apos T have a token to bypass the alarm, so all he could do was try to match the frequency by adjusting his own. After 2 days of careful observation and understanding, he felt confident enough to proceed. Gradually, a faint red light emanated from his body, a result of synchronizing his energy with the alarm and Apos S frequency based on the mysterious heaven technique. He slowly raised his right hand and gently pressed it against the wall. This was the most critical moment. Success or failure depended on the outcome of this touch. When his right hand touched the wall, a faint red ripple appeared, and Tang San and Apos S gaze immediately turned sharp as he got ready to turn and run at any moment. But the red ripple only spread slightly before calming down and merging with the red light emanating from Tang San, as if they were one and the same. Tang San was overjoyed. He immediately pressed his body against the wall, and the red glow from his body gradually merged with the red light from the wall. He clung to the wall, his fingers grasping the slightly protruding parts, and with a push of his legs, he lightly leaped to the top of the wall. By this time, the red light on his body had completely merged with the alarm system and Apos S red light. With his strong spiritual power, he could clearly determine whether he had triggered the alarm under these conditions. Indeed, his understanding of arrays was far ahead of this civilization's, and it didn't seem like he would run into any issues. He vaulted over the wall and landed lightly on the ground. The first hurdle was successfully cleared. Tang San Kuden and Apos T helped but praise himself inwardly, thinking that from now on, he wouldn't and Apos T need to use the door anymore. Without any delay, he quickly moved along the wall and through the shadows, soon arriving near the academy and Apos S door. Once more, he hid in a corner, sitting still and observing. It had been some time since a cabinet door in the academy store had mysteriously opened on its own. Tang San believed that this incident at the store must have passed by now. After all, nothing was lost and it was only a cabinet door to begin with, not a vault door, so it was probably brushed off as a one-time incident. The guards were still those 2 8th-order mighty apes. Their strength was unquestionable, but in terms of intelligence, well, they were smart compared to normal apes. Tang San was in no hurry, just silently observing from the shadows. He suddenly had a strange thought. If his celestial fox vision could reach the same order as these mighty ape demons, maybe he would be able to apply a lucky charm to himself and then simply stroll in, and they would just let him pass. In all fairness, there was such a possibility. Right now, however, he couldn't and Apos T determine how powerful a high-order celestial fox vision would be, and he didn't care to find out firsthand. Rather than facing a master of luck, he would feel safer confronting an enemy of a higher order. Without god-level cultivation, he had no intention of dealing with beings like the celestial foxes. Time passed by the minute as he waited. At worst, he would wait 4 hours for the mighty ape demons to enter for their internal patrol. But with the blessing of the celestial fox vision, Tang San and Appo's luck was not bad. Only about 20 minutes later, it was time for the two mighty apes to conduct their internal patrol. Compared to the last time he had been here, it seemed much easier to infiltrate. As a user of the celestial fox vision himself, he was a favored child of luck, and with Dubai and Appo's added luck, good fortune was inevitable. He waited silently for the mighty ape demons to finish their patrol and the doors to close again. At that moment for Tang San, the academy store was now a very safe space. He had a whole 4 hours to do whatever he wanted. Although he hadn't taken anything with him on his last visit, he had still made significant gains. Now, if he wished, he could open the most important vault with the central system, just like the Fox Demon Store manager did last time. However, Tang San didn't and Appo's rushed to do so. Instead, he activated his discerning eye of heaven and scanned the entire interior of the academy store. The fourth order discerning eye of heaven was vastly different from the third order. Under its gaze, all the energy fluctuations here were visible, particularly the arrays within the cabinet doors. Tang San could almost see through them clearly, thanks to the subtle changes in energy. In less than a quarter of an hour, he had deciphered the arrays covering the cabinet doors arranged outside of the counter. He could open any door he wanted without triggering the alarm. After a thorough exploration of half an hour, Tang San finally reached the 6 vaults at the back. He stopped before the most important vault, continuing to sense the energy changes within. The most crucial part was to see if there were any differences from that day. It turned out that Kali Academy hadn't and Appo's changed the defensive array. As Tang San and Appo's palm showed wave after wave of energy ripples, bringing them slowly closer to the vault door. Similar energy ripples also appeared on the surface of the vault door. The ripples combined, and Tang San, with his spiritual power controlling the mysterious heaven technique, simulated an energy key that perfectly matched the door-opening array. With a soft sound, the vault door opened. A faint smile appeared at the corners of Tang San and Appo's mouth. The moment he stepped into the vault, he was immediately enveloped by a dense wave of energy. Great stuff. This place is filled with treasures. Kali Academy was the only high-level academy in the entire Kali city. Even members of the Golden Bloodline races studied here, hinting at the wealth contained within. Even if the items stored in the academy store were not Kali Academy and Appo's most precious treasures, they were rare and valuable items not commonly seen. Tang San did not look at the treasures in the vault. Instead, he first located the main control array. The alarm's main control array was in the innermost part of the vault, inside a sealed metal chamber. The small chamber had no openings and the door was tightly closed and locked. However, just like the vaults had alarm arrays but no locks, this chamber had a lock but no alarm arrays. Tang San didn't and Appo's need to enter the chamber. He simply placed a hand against the metal door, silently sensing the energy fluctuations inside. With his powerful spiritual power, he memorized every subtle change in energy. When Tang San was a god king, he was the supreme ruler of the divine realm, overseeing it all. The highest governing body in the divine realm was the Divine Council, controlling the heart of the divine realm. This heart once influenced multiple planets, and for their purposes, they relied on an energy array far more advanced than anything else Tang San had seen or used in all his lifetimes. Though Tang San was no longer a god king in Kuden and Appo's to use his divine consciousness liberally like he once had, his experience remained. What seemed like a complex array to the demons was nothing but child and Appo's play to him. A faint smile gradually appeared on Tang San and Appo's face. The arrays of Kali Academy led to the same goal despite different paths. After days of observation, he had essentially grasped the main layout of the arrays used here. Now, with the discerning eye of heaven evolving to the fourth order, he could confirm his observations. These smaller arrays were indeed based on the exact same principles as the large array wrapping around Kali Academy, and they were likely built by the same hand. Now it was simple. Tang San had mentally sorted out the characteristics of these arrays. After reconstructing the array prototype in his mind, he had thoroughly mastered everything. His smile grew wider. His plan could now be set into motion smoothly. Inside the vault there were rows of display cases with different items, each preserved in various ways. Some were tightly sealed, while others were simply displayed in open cases. Besides the core array that it was housing, it turned out that this vault also contained weapons and armor forged from rare metals. In Tang San and Appo's eyes, the craftsmanship was truly rough. The items themselves were nothing more than scrap metal in his eyes. However, Hikuden and Appo's deny that the materials were genuinely excellent, far from ordinary. He was even a little envious of the materials. He had never seen such fine materials on the Douluo planet. He had only encountered similar quality materials after becoming the God King and overseeing other planets in the divine realm. If he was the one to handle these things, producing divine artifacts Wooden and Appo's be impossible. But Tang San didn't and Appo's touch anything. Yes, he didn't and Appo's take a single item. Undoubtedly, he could effortlessly empty the place with his current understanding of the Academy store and Appo's defense array. Without even looking, he could guess that one of the vaults had to contain storage equipment. Taking everything away would be no big deal. However, doing so would undoubtedly cause a considerable stir at Kali Academy. To avoid being exposed, he and Appo's need to flee quickly. But while he could escape, what about the Academy town? The first suspects would surely be the human vassals, and his actions would undoubtedly be followed by a massive purge and search. What about the Redemption Society? These were all issues he had to consider. And since he could take the items anytime now, there was no need to rush. He could just consider them temporarily stored here. When necessary, he could take all the resources only when nothing of concern was left. At the very least, he had to ensure the safety of the Redemption Society. The Academy town might not reveal much under search, but if the members of the Redemption Society were revealed, that would be a big problem. Therefore, Tang San never intended to plunder everything directly from the beginning. Instead, he simply wanted to ensure he could enter here anytime he wished. Everything else could wait. Exiting this vault, Tang San promptly chose the third one and opened its door. Mastering the core array made opening the doors effortless, even quicker than using a key. Upon opening the metal door, intense natural energy instantly enveloped the area. Tang San could feel his body warming slightly from the dense natural energy. Most of the treasures were preserved in sealed containers among the rows of display cabinets. These containers were strictly necessary here, because this vault hosted spiritual medicines. The natural energy emitted by these spiritual medicines was so rich that the air inside the vault felt almost viscous, even though they were all sealed in containers. Due to their incredible variety, the energy seemed somewhat mixed. Tang San sensed silently and could perceive hundreds of spiritual medicines here, each more potent than the dragon tendon fruit he had consumed before. The level of dragon tendon fruits was such that they Waren and Appo's even qualified to be stored in these vaults. Wealth, such immense wealth. No wonder the demon race in Appo's cultivation progresses so rapidly. So many of these natural spiritual medicines are absolute treasures. If used properly, they could greatly assist me in cultivation. Although Tang San had some doubts about whether the demon race could fully utilize the effects of these spiritual medicines, even if they consumed them like normal food, the effects were still bound to be impressive. Truly all good things. Cultivating in such a place was like being in a treasure land on Earth. Tang San took a deep breath, circulating the mysterious heaven technique, filtering the dense natural energy he inhaled before integrating it into his cultivation. This deep breath alone made him feel his blood pulsating more vigorously. This was truly impressive. Instead of acting hastily, Tang San carefully observed everything around him, gradually forming a plan in his mind. Although the plants in this world differed from those in the Soul Land he once knew, the properties of their energies Kuden and Appo's deceive him. With Tang San and Appo's past life experience as the ruler of plants, identifying them was a matter of minutes. According to Tang San and Appo's analysis, the difference between plants and nymphs was similar to that between demonic beasts and the demon race. These life forms were fundamentally the same, but plants without spiritual intelligence, regardless of their high energy levels, could only be classified as treasure plants, treasures of heaven and earth, not as nymphs. However, whether they were treasure plants or nymphs, they shared similar origins. Tang San and Appo's first target was these high-order plants in the vault. Based on his experience with magical beasts, these treasure plants were probably also graded in the same way. Once they reached the divine order, they would inevitably develop spiritual intelligence and be truly sentient. Thus, there were no divine-level treasure plants. Those would have become nymphs. Tang San walked to the first row of display cabinets, approaching a glass-like cover. Inside it, a purple-black vine was coiled. This vine was covered in thorns and emitted a faint cold light, clearly not something to be taken lightly. Tang San had attended classes on heavenly and earthly treasures at the Redemption Society, but his education was not comprehensive enough. Therefore, he had never learned about this type of thorny vine. However, based on his observations of its appearance, Tang San could roughly guess what kind of plant it was, and by employing the discerning eye of heaven, he could determine its order. The transparent protective shield was embedded with a defensive array, which posed no challenge to Tang San. He easily broke through the array and cautiously lifted the cover. As soon as he lifted the cover, a sudden change occurred. The purple-black vine inside, which had appeared lifeless, suddenly sprung out like lightning, its sharp spikes hurtling directly toward Tang San's face. Yet Tang San remained calm and prepared. He grasped the vine with a lightning-fast motion of his right hand, unafraid of the sharp spikes. The spikes Kuden and Appo's penetrate his jade-like palm. With a glint in his eyes, Tang San activated the mysterious heaven technique, forcibly absorbing the energy within the thorny vine. The vine struggled violently, but Kuden and Appo's escaped the grip of Tang San and Appo's mysterious jade hands. Just as Tang San had expected, like the bloodline energy of demonic beasts, the energy of plants could also be devoured and absorbed by the mysterious heaven technique. It was clear that the devouring trait acquired by the energy of the mysterious heaven technique upon arriving in this world was absolute. Restless plant energy flowed into Tang San, gradually forming a new bloodline imprint within him. To Tang San and Appo's surprise, the plant-based bloodline imprint was much purer than that of demonic beasts. Perhaps this was because the plant was a natural treasure, directly nurtured by the pure spiritual energy from heaven and earth. In any case, the imprint was exceptionally clear and translucent rather than opaque. The vine began to wilt, and Tang San stopped absorbing its energy. He then carefully placed it back under the protective cover. He had absorbed around 1/3 of its energy, and the imprint he had developed was around the third order. Moreover, pure plant-based life energy was now a part of his energy vortex, and it was slowly absorbed as he cultivated. Indeed, this was Tang San and Appo's intention. By absorbing the energy of treasure plants, he aimed to form plant-based bloodline imprints and integrate them into his green jade vine, thereby enhancing the power of this sixth bloodline imprint. At the same time, once partially absorbed, the energy contained in these treasure plants would make his cultivation more efficient and nourish his body, making it easier for him to withstand the cultivation of the mysterious heaven technique. This was more beneficial for his cultivation right now than absorbing energy from demons or demonic beasts. It was just a preliminary trial, but it appeared that his judgment was entirely correct. Absorbing the energy of plants was the right way to go. With so many treasure plants here, as long as Tang San didn't and Appo's completely deplete them, their inherent properties would naturally absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth from the air to replenish themselves. This vault was abundant in elemental forces, thanks to all the plants in it, so that was no problem. The slightly wilted plants Wuden and Appo's make any noise or raise suspicion. Thus, this place could become a cultivation paradise for Tang San, rapidly enhancing his strength. Not rushing to integrate the imprint immediately, he chose another plant that looked like a vine and was around the fifth order. Absorbing higher-order imprints was not necessarily better. Tang San needed to maintain the original form of his green jade vine and not change it rashly. With his experience from his previous life, he could make a very educated judgment about what kind of bloodline imprints to devour and integrate. These imprints needed to have beneficial attributes, and at the same time he had to slowly increase the energy he absorbed rather than taking in a lot of it at once. Devouring something too powerful could cause the green jade vine to collapse or be absorbed into another imprint, which was not the desired outcome. With Tang San and Appo's sixth-order cultivation of the mysterious heaven technique, After continuously absorbing the energy of 5 plants, each between the 5th and 6th orders, his dantian was filled to the brim. This was just about right. After making sure that everything in the vault was exactly the way he had found it, Tang San cautiously exited and closed the door. With some time remaining before the next patrol, he found a hidden corner to sit down. He activated the mysterious heaven technique to absorb the life energies he had just integrated into his body. Absorbing these pure life energies through his energy vortex was much easier than absorbing the mixed energies of demon bloodlines. His body, nourished by the energy of the mysterious heaven technique, felt warm and comfortable, and he felt the indescribably gentle energy spreading throughout his meridians. His cultivation level rapidly increased, surpassing the progress of 10 days or half a month of normal cultivation. And this was even before he integrated the bloodline imprints. Tang San did not intend to integrate the 5 plant-based bloodline imprints he had just absorbed here, mainly because he feared not controlling them well and exposing his aura. He was also concerned that any physical anomalies during the integration process might affect his sharpness when leaving. When the 4-hour patrol period ended, Tang San had almost completely absorbed the life energy. The vast life energy converged within him, allowing his cultivation to take another firm step within the 6th order. Taking advantage of the patrol, Tang San quietly slipped out. It was still dark, but dawn was not far off. He returned the way he had come, climbing over the wall. When Tang San returned to the Redemption Society, the sky gradually brightened, and dawn was approaching. However, he didn't oppose rest. After all, time waited for no one. He decided to rest and cultivate leisurely as he swept the ground at Kali Academy. Sitting cross-legged on the bed, he began integrating the imprints. Since he only devoured a portion of the energy from each plant, the orders of the imprints formed inside him were not very high, all around the 3rd order, with the highest just barely reaching the 4th order. Such order imprints were most suitable for Tang San to devour, given that the order of his green jade vine was quite low. The first to be devoured was the thorny vine. The moment the 3rd order imprint merged with the 1st order green jade vine, the 2 imprints began to clash. The green jade vine, being somewhat weaker, was eventually overtaken by the thorny vine, resulting in their fusion. Controlling a 3rd order fusion with Tang San and Appo's current cultivation level was effortless. Soon, his 6th bloodline imprint reached the 3rd order, and then he proceeded to the next one. Fusing 3rd order with 3rd order was easier, and the process was swift. As he integrated the 5 imprints one by one, his 6th bloodline imprint reached the 4th order. The sky outside brightened further. The fusion process went smoothly, mainly because the imprints were of the same plant type, so they found it easier to accept each other. There was a flash of light in Tang San and Appo's eyes, and with a flick of his right hand, a blue-purple vine sprouted from the palm of his hand, adorned with delicate black patterns, instantly spreading outward. The thorny vine, about as thick as a baby and Appo's arm and incredibly resilient, extended about 20 meters before Tang San found it could stretch no further. With a thought, spikes emerged from the vine. When he channeled his energy into it, the 20-meter-long vine stiffened instantly, like a giant spear. He waved his right hand, and vines rapidly emerged, intertwining in the air to form a large net. A hint of satisfied reminiscence appeared in his eyes. In his previous life, his primary martial spirit was the blue-silver grass, and now he could essentially replicate some of its abilities thanks to this vine. Although there were differences in strength and a number of specific characteristics, they were quite similar overall. Before evolving into the Blue-Silver Emperor, his Blue-Silver Grass martial soul used to have 4 abilities: Bind, Parasite, Spider Web Restraint, and Blue-Silver Prison. Right now, Tang San could use 3 of them, and while he couldn't fully use Parasite, he would eventually be able to do that. In other words, he had recovered 3/4 of his previous life's Blue-Silver Grass Spirit Ring abilities, and he was well on his way to recover more. This was the existence Tang San was most familiar with. Familiarity meant better control and greater practicality. As dawn arrived, there was a knock on Tang San and Appo's door. "Are you not up yet? Time for cultivation, Dubai." And Appo's voice called out. A faint smile appeared at the corner of Tang San and Appo's mouth. A new day, a fresh start. It was truly wonderful. His sixth bloodline imprint would advance to the sixth order in the following days. This imprint, naturally, would be called the Blue-Silver Emperor. And one day, the Blue-Silver Emperor would return to its former glory, and the following days, Tang San was incredibly busy. He worked during the day, silently cultivating at the same time, and went to his best cultivation spot at night. Plant-based sources of life energy were exceptionally nourishing for the body. With access to the Kali Academy and Appos' treasure trove, Tang San no longer needed to purchase plant-based materials and treasures for cultivation. He could simply absorb a portion of energy from vine-like plants to enhance his Blue-Silver Emperor bloodline imprint, and then some energy from those nourishing treasure plants to nurture himself. In just 5 days, he felt he had undergone a complete transformation. To the Redemption Society teachers and students, Tang San seemed to have grown taller and more robust recently. His brows and eyes appeared more open, and he looked increasingly pleasing to the eye. Finally, the time for the second training expedition was approaching. Early in the morning, Tang San and his group of 5 were all packed and ready to leave. After breakfast, Guanlongjiang called the 5 of them over. "I know that your last expedition was very successful, and each of you has grown in strength. But I want to tell you that your success last time was largely due to luck, and luck won in Appos. Always be with you." He paused, suddenly realizing something, glanced at Dubai, coughed, and then continued, "Therefore, remember that this journey is not just for the growth of your powers, but more importantly, to better understand how to attract fortune and avoid disaster, how to protect yourselves, and how to survive in unfamiliar environments. Safety is always the priority because only the living have a future." At this point, he paused and turned his gaze to Wu Bingji, saying, "Bingji, as the eldest brother, you must set an example for your junior brothers and sisters. Let everyone well and prioritize safety above all. Do you understand?" "Yes, teacher," Wu Bingji respectfully replied, but his gaze unintentionally stopped at Tang San, who was beside him. "Can I lead everyone? It in Appos. Just a nominal role, I suppose." Following his gaze, Guanlongjiang and Appos' eyes fell directly on Tang San. "Tang San, I know you and Appos' full of cunning ideas. But remember, no matter how talented or smart you are, you must not recklessly take risks, as this concerns the lives of your teammates. Last time you almost suffered a great loss. Recall the moments when you nearly perished." "Yes, Teacher Guan," Tang San quickly responded. At this moment he was thinking about other matters altogether. Today should be the day Mei Gongzi and her group also set off. The timing should be slightly staggered, but their directions were the same. He needed to observe more, maintain a certain distance, and not get too close to avoid being detected, but also not stray too far away. In case of danger, he needed to be able to help in time. "All right, let and Appos' set off," Guanlongjiang said, naturally noticing Tang San and Appos' somewhat distracted state and feeling helpless inside. "But what more can I say? Talking about luck, last time, even with Dubai being only third order, they managed to escape from the jaws of a 7th order peak-winged tiger, even turning the tables on it. Their overall gains were greater than the other 2 groups combined. The increase in the strength of Dubai and Guli was a great boost for the entire Redemption Society. Initially, the organization planned to move them to a safer place, but the improvements in Celestial Fox Vision and Chrono Croc transformation delayed this decision. Perhaps this place was more suitable for their advancement and cultivation. Dubai was at the 4th order, Guli and Chang Ziqing were at the 5th order, and Tang San and Wu Bingji were at the 6th order. There were not many young teams in the Redemption Society. Wu Bingji was Guanlongjiang's direct disciple, and he had witnessed his disciple and Appos' significant progress. Guanlongjiang was well aware of Tang San and Appos' guidance to Wu Bingji in using the ice element. Wu Bingji had nothing to hide from his teacher. When Guanlongjiang learned the intricacies of their practice, he was astounded. He even felt that Tang San seemed more like Wu Bingji and Appos' teacher than he was. Since Tang San and Appos' arrival, although Wu Bingji was still at the 6th order, his strength had improved tremendously. His perception and application of ice elemental energy had brought him close to the peak of the 6th order. Advancing to the 7th order was basically just a matter of time. All these changes began from the moment Tang San arrived. Because of this, the organization investigated Tang San and Appos' background several times, but the results were always the same naturally, since there really was nothing wrong about Tang San's background. What Guanlongjiang had in Appos, Ti told Tang San, was that his mentor Wang Yanfeng, the three Wang brothers, and Ling Muxue were all going to be brought into the Redemption Society. The hope was to see if another prodigy like Tang San could emerge among them. With that, Let and Appos set off. With Guanlongjiang and Appos command, Tang San and Appos team embarked on their second training journey. The other students watched, aware of Tang San and Appos team and Appos achievements from their first outing. When they had gone out for training, everyone had been full of determination, believing that they could achieve what Tang San and Appos team achieved, even if not to the same extent. However, the reality was far different. They had tried hard, but when facing demonic beasts and life-threatening crises, they had often panicked. Without the teachers and Appos timely rescue, there would surely have been casualties. As for their final gains, they didn't even want to think about it. As Tang San and Appos team set off on their second training expedition, everyone wanted to see whether their success in the first was due to luck, or if they were truly far superior in capabilities. There were those who wished to join Tang San and Appos team, like Zhang Zibin, who had been defeated by Gu Li. He couldn't and Appos understand how his juniors had become so strong that he was left powerless against them. However, the Academy thought it best to reconfirm Tang San and Appos team and Appos capabilities before considering a redistribution of the training groups. They entered the Kali Mountains from the back mountain, a path all too familiar. Wu Bingji led the way, with Cheng Zicheng flying low. Gu Li and Dubai walked in the middle and Tang San at the rear. The group of 5 swiftly moved forward, soon disappearing into the forest. Dubai, how do you think our luck will be this time? Gu Li nudged Dubai, walking in front of him. Dubai chuckled and said, with me here, our luck will surely be as bright as the sun. Couldn't and Appos be better. Gu Li smirked, mascot. I and Appos V noticed you and Appos V been pretty flamboyant lately. Dubai and Appos mood was indeed incomparable to the past. Before, when people called him a mascot and teased him, he snapped back, disappointed at his own inability to compete with his fellow students. But recently, he had been far more spirited and active, and he took his mascot role very seriously. Confidence comes from strength, you know? Dubai said somewhat proudly. The continuous improvement of his spiritual power, the progress of liquefying his spiritual power, and the effective cultivation of purple demon eyes made him feel a breakthrough to a fifth-order celestial fox vision was not impossible. How could he not be in high spirits? Moreover, he could now use the spiritual impact of the purple demon eyes, so he was no longer powerless in a fight. After about 2 hours of travel, they went deep into the Kali Mountains. Wu Bingji ordered a rest, and everyone stopped at a higher ground to rest and regroup. Tang San said, before we set out this time, I heard while working at Kali Academy that some of their students are also venturing into the Kali Mountains for trials. It and Appos likely that we and Appos encounter them. Sister Zicheng, when you and Appos re-scouting later, take the opportunity to observe and see if there and Appos any movement from them nearby. If so, pinpoint their location and maintain a distance from them. Got it. Are they strong? Cheng Zicheng asked with interest. Tang San nodded, with a serious look on his face. Very strong. The golden lion dog was at the 8th order, which they definitely couldn't and Appos handle at their current level. The mayor was right behind them, but he would not reveal his presence unless strictly necessary. From the conversation between the golden lion dog and Mei Gongzi, Tang San concluded that they didn't and Appos have a teacher accompanying them. After all, the golden lion dog had a golden bloodline, and if Tang San's guess was correct, Mei Gongzi possessed a demon emperor's bloodline, a supreme bloodline. Such a combination would surely allow them to protect themselves even against 9th order demonic beasts. Wu Bingji frowned slightly. Why didn't an Appos you mention this before we left? Tang San replied, I was afraid the teachers would worry too much, and it would affect our experience outside. With Sister Ziheng scouting and maintaining our distance from them, there shouldn't and Appos be a big problem. Besides, our strength isn't and Appos what it used to be. And speaking of that, I have some things for you. While speaking, Tang San took out a couple of items from his storage bag. Seeing the jet-black items emitting specks of golden light, everyone couldn't and oppose. Help but be surprised. The objects in front of them shimmered with a cold light. They were definitely weapons, yet they were unlike anything they had ever seen. What are these? Wu Bingji asked in surprise, looking at Tang San. Tang San explained, I came up with these weapons alongside teacher Zhang Haoshuan. Originally, I made them for Dubai because, well, he and Appos is not much of a fighter. But then, I figured it wouldn't do to just gear up one person, so I ended up making something for everyone. These hidden weapons are like the moves I showed you, senior brother, but they're mechanical so anyone can handle them and they pack a serious punch. I tailored each one to match your unique traits. Sister Chung, these two are yours. As he spoke, Tang San handed Chang Zicheng a crossbow-like hidden weapon with an elastic shoulder strap and a cylindrical item. Due to time constraints, Tang San could craft only a limited number of hidden weapons, and some particularly powerful ones couldn't and Appos be made overnight. They required time and he didn't and Appos have enough for himself, let alone enough to distribute them to everyone. Seeing the novel items, everyone being young was naturally very interested. What are these? Chang Zicheng took the two hidden weapons, feeling their significant weight. They shimmered coldly and felt mysteriously substantial to the touch. Tang San smiled, this is the backpack crossbow. One you wear it on your back. See these 3 crossbow bolts here? When you want to fire, bow your head and they and Appos shoot from behind. It and Appos potent when fired mid-flight, but the downside is it can only be fired once before reloading. These hidden weapons are made of black gold, which is very precious. So you must be sure to recover the bolts after firing. There are only 2 bolts for each of you, and if you lose them, well, they're lost. The other is a sleeve dart. It's a lighter version of the same thing, and you can wear it on your wrist. Similarly, bend your wrist downward and the sleeve dart will shoot out. Depending on how you set the mechanism, you can shoot all 3 at once or just one at a time. While explaining the use of the hidden weapons to Chang Zicheng, Tang San felt a strange sensation in his heart, as if he were back in his youth in a previous life, when hidden weapons played a crucial role in his initial rise. Before using these 2 hidden weapons, I suggest you charge them first. Charging means infusing your bloodline power into the arrays on them. This will accumulate energy, so their power will be much greater when you fire them. Different bloodline powers should amplify the hidden weapons differently. I and Appos already experimented with this. Indeed, the biggest difference between the hidden weapons Tang San crafted this time and those he had made in his previous life lay in the arrays. These were the evolved versions of hidden weapons, keeping up with the times. On the Douluo planet, thousands of years after he ascended to godhood, spirit-guided devices had emerged, soul tools. The Tang sect, founded by him, had taken the manufacturing of these devices to its peak. Powerful soul tools were essentially advanced hidden weapons used with complex core arrays. Of course, there were even stronger ones capable of catastrophic power. However, the issue was that Tang San, already a god, hadn't Appos learned to craft these soul tools. He only had the concept. How could he know how to craft them when he was already a god king and no longer in tight contact with the Douluo planet? Thus, he only knew the theory of soul tools and hadn't had the chance to experiment them. The hidden weapons he crafted now were his first experiments on integrating arrays with hidden weapons based on that theory. More importantly, this world in Appos' energy system differed from that of the old Soul Land. Therefore, the arrays he designed also had to align with this world in Appos' bloodline energy system. The enhanced mechanical hidden weapons thus developed were naturally much more powerful than those in his previous life. The most magical aspect was that different bloodline powers could produce different effects. What do you mean by different bloodline powers having different effects? Wu Bingji asked curiously. Tang San explained, simply put, if Sister Chung uses it and infuses her bloodline power, the arrow's shot will have characteristics of the golden rock transformation, like exceptional speed and the sharp attributes of the golden rock feathers, making their penetrative power even stronger. If you use it, infusing your ice nymph bloodline energy, then your arrows will have ice properties. Is that possible? Has the mayor and Appos' research on arrays reached such a level? Chang Zicheng examined the 2 hidden weapons in her hands, looking at the small core arrays engraved on them glow with a faint halo, her face filled with disbelief. Arrays were actually taught at Redemption Academy, but only at the most basic level. The teachers didn't understand them all that deeply themselves, so how could they teach more to their pupils? Seeing such a miraculous application was simply shocking. Tang San picked up 2 relatively larger objects and handed them to Dubai. These are for you, brother Dubai. Due to the time constraints, I only made this pair of godly Zhuge crossbows for you. I and Oppos. LL also make some other things for you to arm you to the teeth. Dubai excitedly took the 2 godly Zhuge crossbows. They were rather heavy, but he had been undergoing a certain teacher's physical training drills, so even at his age and size, using them was no problem. How do you use this godly Zhuge crossbow? He asked curiously. Tang San replied, after focusing your bloodline power, just pull the trigger here, and it and Oppos S ready to use. In terms of sheer power, it and Oppos S the strongest among these hidden weapons. Each godly Zhuge crossbow can fire 36 small bolts. I and Oppos am also eager to see the effect of the crossbow when you use the energy of your celestial fox bloodline. You might not even need to aim. The luck control of the celestial fox vision will guide them to hit your target. Well, no, on second thought, maybe it's for the best to aim a bit before shooting. I and Oppos LL show you how to use it later. He then handed 1 sleeve dart each to Wu Bingji and Gu Li, and with this the whole team was armed. We and Oppos short on time, and with your abilities you and Oppos be just as powerful without hidden weapons. Especially you, eldest senior brother. Hidden weapons should be reserved to protect yourself when your strength is exhausted. Everyone donned their hidden weapons, curious and rather surprised at the same time. Tang San then distributed crossbow bolts to each of them, and began instructing them on using these hidden weapons. Are these little things really powerful? What in Oppos S their attack range? Gu Li asked curiously, fiddling with the sleeve dart in his hand. Tang San replied, the sleeve dart can shoot up to 30 meters. It's weaker than the others but simpler to use. The backpack crossbow can shoot 50 meters, and the godly Zhuge crossbow can reach 100 meters, but you need to aim carefully. Dubai's celestial fox vision is perfect for the godly Zhuge crossbow, and his spiritual power is up to the task of aiming anyway. Senior brother, can you produce an ice shield for target practice? Then, I'll tweak everyone's hidden weapons to match their demonic god transformation. This will help you use your hidden weapons with your specific powers. Tang San had already experimented with the various effects accompanying different demonic god transformations. He was pleasantly surprised by the hidden weapons he had crafted in this world, vastly different from those he had made in the Douluo continent. Different demonic god transformations allowed a single weapon to produce many different and interesting effects. I and Oppos LL go first, Chang Ziqing said excitedly. With Tang San and Oppos S help, she equipped herself with the sleeve dart and the backpack crossbow. Wu Bingji conjured a half-foot thick ice wall that stood erect on the ground. Senior brother, here I go, Chang Ziqing said with a giggle, raising her hand. A golden light enveloped her as she activated the golden rock transformation. Bloodline power flowed into the core array of the sleeve dart, and instantly, a golden halo rippled outward from the weapon. The golden array etched on it became increasingly distinct, emitting a mysterious glow. 3 bolts shot out in the next instant, accompanied by a faint mechanical click. Wu Bingji, who was watching intently, suddenly felt a sense of danger. In an instant he was pulled to the side. 3 pale golden streaks of light whizzed past him almost instantaneously, disappearing into the distance in the blink of an eye. A sudden chill enveloped Wu Bingji's back, and he felt sweat soaking him in an instant. The excited Chang Ziqing, Dubai, and Gu Li instantly froze. Chang Ziqing and Oppos S face turned deathly pale. The one who pulled Wu Bingji away was naturally Tang San. Others might not know the power of these hidden weapons, but as their creator, how could he not? Black gold bolts possessed immense penetrative power, and it was further augmented by the sharpness and speed bestowed by the golden rock transformation. The bolts were so fast that they wouldn't have been even visible to the naked eye if not for the energy surrounding them. They pierced through the ice shield, leaving 3 clean, smooth holes without any cracks around them, demonstrating their formidable penetrative force. And Tang San had previously mentioned that this was the least powerful among the 3 types of hidden weapons. This is the weakest. Ahem, senior sister Zicheng, I think you and Appos. D better go find your bolts. Don and Appos. T lose them, Tang San reminded Chang Zicheng. With a trembling voice she asked, Senior brother, are you alright? Trying to appear calm, Wu Bingji said, it and Appos. S okay, I and Appos am fine. I didn't and Appos. T expect this little thing to be so powerful. Tang San smiled and said, the sleeve dart itself is not that powerful, but with the energy of the golden rock transformation imbued into it, the bolt speed is doubled at the very least. If you catch someone off guard with this, well, I think you can imagine what happens. And the backpack crossbow is in fact more powerful than this. Wu Bingji gasped. Little Tang, what kind of monster are you? Dubai looked at them, then at the pair of godly Zhuge crossbows in his hands, struggling to suppress the excitement in his heart. An hour later, after everyone had become familiar with their hidden weapons and personally tested them, they were almost unable to put down the treasures in their hands. The boost of the demonic god transformation to the hidden weapons was immense. The only requirement was to charge them in advance. Each charge allowed for one use, and a single charge could last about a day. After a day, the energy stored by the array would deplete, and it would require recharging. It wasn't an Appos, T that Tang San couldn't an Appos, T engrave an energy storing array, but adding such an effect would significantly increase the array and Appos' requirements. One issue was the lack of time, and the other was the small size of the hidden weapon, making it too difficult to craft. The most excited was Dubai, who hugged his godly Zhuge crossbows and called them his little treasures with utter obsession. In his hands, the godly Zhuge crossbows, though not strengthened by a power or speed-based demonic god transformation, were imbued with something even more terrifying in a sense, luck. Even Wu Bingji was unlikely to escape unscathed if he were to confront Dubai while the latter was armed with these crossbows. Meanwhile, Guli, draping his arm around Tang San and Appos' shoulder, was already pestering him to make more hidden weapons. The others looked at him with sparkling eyes. The emergence of these hidden weapons significantly enhanced their overall strength. Senior brothers and sisters, regarding these hidden weapons, I hope you can keep them a secret from everyone. They are for our team and Appos' use only. They are incredibly difficult to make and also a secret between my master and me, Tang San said seriously. He knew bringing out the hidden weapons before becoming stronger wasn't an Appos' the best move. Not to mention anything else, just the Redemption Society and Appos' suspicion toward him would greatly increase. But now, with his insufficient strength, he could only rely on hidden weapons to compensate for his weaknesses. Once he regained his godly status, he wouldn't an Appos' need any hidden weapons. So this was a move made out of necessity. This world and Appos' understanding of arrays was too limited, so hidden weapons could not be popularized here. After all, he was the only one who could make them. He could not be expected to make hidden weapons tirelessly. Therefore, he never considered spreading these hidden weapons to all of humanity. Doing so might even become a disaster for mankind. One sin is nothing but possessing a piece of jade. That was the principle here. And if the hidden weapons fell into the hands of demons or nymphs, Wuden and Appos', it be like giving wings to a tiger? Therefore, after careful consideration, Tang San decided not to let the hidden weapons spread too widely, and instead only allowed his close companions to use them. This was also a way of compensating for secretly devouring their bloodline powers. Rest time in Appos' almost up. Let and Appos' get ready to move on, Wu Bingji said, touching the sleeve dart on his wrist. He liked this high-quality little gadget. If Chang Zicheng fired it using the golden rock transformation, it could penetrate 3 layers of his ice shield or ice wall. The power was truly terrifying. Tang San said to Chang Zicheng, senior sister, can you scout from the air? Focus on the direction we're moving in, and explore the surrounding area. Check for any students from Kali Academy. If there are any, let us know immediately. Okay. Chang Zicheng nodded. Her fondness for Tang San was growing. His arrival had brought significant changes to them, and today, only she and Dubai had received 2 hidden weapons. Chang Zicheng used the golden rock transformation and quietly ascended. The other 4 set off again, continuing their journey into the Kali mountain range. With the inclusion of hidden weapons, there was no doubt about the significant boost to their small team and Appos' strength. As they walked, Tang San discussed with them how to use these weapons, especially when coordinating with each other to maximize their effectiveness at the right moment. Ice Nymph Transformation, Celestial Fox Transformation, Chrono Croc Transformation, and Golden Rock Transformation. These 4 major bloodline powers each allowed for unique enhancements to hidden weapons. Combined, they could result in a deadly formation. Chang Zicheng returned every half hour to meet up with them. It was only during the second half hour of reconnaissance that she obtained results. I and Appos, we spotted them. 7 people about 5 kilometers away from us. I only took a distant glance, I didn't and Appos. T dare to get too close for fear of being detected, Chang Zicheng reported. The Golden Rock and Appos' visual prowess was incredible, a necessary quality for such a high-speed flyer. All right, senior sister, maintain this distance and follow them. If they move away from our direction, come back, inform us, and do the same if they approach. As long as we keep a certain distance from them, we need not fear an encounter, Tang San instructed Chang Zicheng. Having located the people from Kali Academy, Tang San inwardly breathed a sigh of relief. His most important mission in this venture was to covertly protect Mei Gongzi, no matter what. As they proceeded on the first day of their journey, Tang San and his team didn't and Appos even encounter any demons. He wondered if it was due to their good fortune following Dubai and Appos' advancement of the Celestial Fox Vision. At the same time, Tang San and Appos' Celestial Fox Vision was also advancing. With the dual Celestial Fox Visions, they could definitely be considered a super luxurious lineup. Even the top teams of the demon race would find it hard to have 2 beings possessing the Celestial Fox bloodline. As evening approached and the day darkened, Wu Bingji initially wanted to find a place for everyone to rest. However, based on the message from Chang Zicheng, Kali Academy was still on the move. Tang San suggested they continue marching as well to maintain the same distance from the Kali Academy team. They would rest when the Kali team settled for the night. About an hour later, Chang Zicheng reported back that the Kali Academy had chosen a place to camp. Tang San and his team also stopped, settling down in a spot with higher terrain for a break. After dinner, everyone rested and took turns on guard. Tang San told Wu Bingji, senior brother, I and Appos am still a bit uneasy. I want to go have a look at Kali Academy. No worries, I'll just observe from a distance. Wu Bingji thought momentarily and said, Iasin and Appos. That too risky? Tang San replied, no, we have senior brother Dubai, right? Dubai, give me a bit of luck as part of your practice today. Because they were deep in the Kali Mountains, Dubai naturally had to reserve his full use of the Celestial Fox transformation. He did not fully enhance Tang San as he usually did during their practice sessions. Okay, Dubai agreed. The light in his eyes flickered, and a faint white halo formed above his head into the shape of a vertical eye. An invisible white light enveloped and fell upon Tang San. Instantly, Tang San felt as if everything would work out just fine. Wu Bingji, Gu Li, and Chang Zicheng watched in amazement. It was their first time witnessing Dubai exert his Celestial Fox vision intentionally to such an extent. I need to rest for more than 3 hours to recover, Dubai said, visibly weakened. Although he hadn't overdone it, the exertion was still pretty serious. Under normal circumstances, the Celestial Fox transformation naturally carried the power of fortune. Dubai could sense the level of luck around him, and he naturally attracted good fortune and repelled incidents. Even a slight application of this luck could affect those around him. However, specifically enhancing someone in Appos' luck to such a large extent was a significant drain, consuming both spiritual power and bloodline power. It required a longer time to recover. Yet, this kind of exertion stimulated his bloodline, benefiting his cultivation of the Celestial Fox vision. Being a human vassal, his bloodline naturally couldn't and Appos' compare with the purebred Celestial Fox demon race, so the extent to which he could cultivate the Celestial Fox vision was unknown. Therefore, he needed to continuously stimulate his bloodline, maximizing the use of his bloodline power in order to dig up its potential and strengthen it. Another method to enhance one in Appos' bloodline was to immerse oneself in the fresh blood of the related demons, increasing the concentration of one in Appos' bloodline. But capturing a high-order Celestial Fox or a direct descendant of the Celestial Fox Demon Emperor was nothing but a fool and Appos' dream. Therefore, Dubai and Appo's enhancement could only come from stimulating his abilities. Wu Bingji said, "Go and return quickly. If you encounter danger, send a signal and we and Appo's come to support you." With his ability to conceal himself, the chances of being discovered were extremely slim. He was going to recon to see if Mei Gongzi was really among the Kali Academy team first and foremost, and also to observe the situation of the others. Watching Tang San disappear into the night in a few moments, Guli said, "Senior brother Don and Appo's, you find it strange how Tang San seems to be paying extra attention to the Kali Academy team this time?" Wu Bingji responded, "He must have his reasons. You guys rest now, I and Appo's take the first watch." He chose to trust Tang San unconditionally. Since joining the Redemption Society, the changes brought about by Tang San had been immense. Almost everyone benefited substantially from him, yet he never asked for anything in return. Well, that was so far as Wu Bingji knew. This expedition felt very different from the last one, most directly due to the vast difference in their strength. If they encountered a 7th Order winged tiger again, Wu Bingji was confident that they could put up a good fight and retreat unscathed even if they couldn't take it down. The 7th Order no longer seemed so frightening. The last time they had ventured out, it had been with trepidation. Tang San activated the discerning eye of heaven, sensing the changes in various energy signatures around him. Following the direction previously indicated by Chang Zicheng, he rapidly approached. With the lucky enhancement of the celestial fox vision, he wasn't Appo's worried about not finding the opposing camp. The drive of good fortune could assist him in achieving that. 5 kilometers was naturally a short distance for him. In just a few minutes, Tang San had already sensed the presence of the distant Kali Academy team. Their aura was so intense that it could be seen with the discerning eye of heaven, with clear fluctuations of various elements on their side. Quickly approaching to about 100 meters, Tang San used the discerning eye of heaven to mask himself with the elements, rendering his aura completely silent. The opposing team surely had members responsible for reconnaissance, so he had to be careful. Therefore, after approaching this close, he began to use leopard flash to leap forward. Simultaneously, a faint dark purple halo glowed in his eyes and his skin turned dark purple. In an instant, his aura blended in with the surrounding vegetation. This was an application of the Blue-Silver Emperor bloodline imprint, assimilating with plants. Tang San himself had created the Blue-Silver Emperor bloodline imprint. The direction of its evolution and the characteristics it had were all within his control. Gradually nearing, Tang San concealed himself in the shadow of a large tree, focusing on his perception. Regarding cultivation level, he was certainly not as advanced as the Golden Lion Dog. Within the Kali Academy team was the 8th Order Golden Lion Dog, and the other members were at least 6th Order. He could even sense 2 at the 7th Order. This team and Appo's strength was much greater than their own. However, in terms of spiritual power, Tang San was confident he surpassed them. As far as Tang San's understanding of the plane went, spiritual power could only be transformed into a liquid state by those who had bloodlines with spiritual attributes or reached the 9th Order at the very least. Meanwhile, Tang San not only had fully liquefied spiritual power already, but he was also nurturing a bit of divine consciousness within. His spiritual power was nourishing his divine consciousness, while his divine consciousness also provided a catalyst for his spiritual power to evolve and grow stronger. Therefore, he was confident in concealing himself without any issues. To break through to the 9th Order in cultivation, Tang San still had a long way to go, but that was not the case for the enhancement of his spiritual power. That would happen naturally in time. What he needed to do now was continuously increase the amount of liquefied spiritual power and completely fill up his sea of consciousness. Once the sea of consciousness was complete, he could proceed to the next step in cultivation, preparing for the future reshaping of his divine consciousness. The team from Kali Academy had a bonfire, so things were fairly visible even from a distance. Lighting a fire in the forest has its pros and cons. The advantage is that it can drive away some wild beasts and mosquitoes, but the disadvantage is that it exposes you. If a powerful predator lurked around, it would not fear the fire. Thus, in these circumstances, daring to light a fire shows great confidence in one and Appo's strength. Tang San and Appo's gaze slowly swept across, and when he saw a figure, his eyes instantly froze. Mei Gongzi was still in Kali Academy and Appo's uniform as usual. Her long hair was tied up behind her head in a perked-up bun, revealing her slender and fair neck. She sat beside the bonfire, holding a cup and drinking something. The golden lion dog was seated just 2 meters away from her beside the campfire. Aside from them, there were 4 others. Tang San knew that there were supposed to be 7 of them, and it was clear that one was responsible for scouting and guarding the surroundings. Tang San had not yet detected this person, so he had to be even more cautious. This guy sitting so close to Mei Gongzi. How dare he? Tang San could feel a surge of jealousy within him. He also wanted to sit beside the campfire and have dinner with Mei Gongzi. He mentally named the team from Kali Academy Beauty and the Beasts. Song Junho, whom Tang San had nicknamed Golden Lion Dog, took a map from his breast pocket, spread it out and pointed somewhere, saying, "We are currently in this area. Continuing towards the territory of the winged tigers will take us about 2 more days." Mei Gongzi nodded, her expression indifferent, seemingly unconcerned about this. Song Junho smiled and said, "Our goal this time is at least 2 winged tigers, and I want to see if we can take down some that are 7th order or higher. Every part of a winged tiger is a treasure and they're really easy to monetize." Mei Gongzi didn't and Appo's make a sound, continuing to sip on her beverage silently as if lost in thought. Seeing her indifferent attitude, Song Junho didn't and Appo's say anything more, just smiled. On the other side of the campfire, a burly bear demon youth said, "Captain, we Haven and Appo's encountered any demons all day, and I and Appo's am getting a bit restless. Tomorrow you must restrain your aura. With you the king among beasts with the golden bloodline. No demons dare to approach us." Upon hearing this, everyone laughed except for Mei Gongzi. The bear demon youth and Appo's comment wasn't an Appo's an exaggeration. The demon races with golden bloodlines had a significant deterrent effect on demonic beasts. With Song Junho and Appo's presence, ordinary demons didn't and Appo's dare approach them. Song Junho said, "The main reason is to save time. Even if there are demons in the outer ranges of the mountain, they are too low level and not worth our time or effort. If you and Appo's interested, I can restrain my bloodline aura tomorrow so everyone can get some practice. All gains will be yours. Haha, our captain is so generous." They didn't and Appo's suppressed their voices during the conversation, and Tang San, with his excellent hearing, could clearly understand. He couldn't and Appo's help but smirk. The others were flattering the golden lion dog. However, he was pretty satisfied with Mei Gongzi and Appo's attitude, as it was evident that she didn't and Appo's feel much closeness to her teammates. This relieved him. His biggest fear was any development of deeper feelings over time, which would be troublesome. After dinner, the Beauty and the Beast team prepared to rest. Their equipment was naturally much better than Tang San and Appo's. Each tent was made of demonic beast skin that looked very sturdy and kept them warm. The tents had unique exits at the top, which could only be opened from the inside, allowing the inhabitant to instantly rush out in case of an emergency. They also took turns keeping watch, with only one person responsible. Only when they began to rest did Tang San finally see the last of the 7-man team. 6 demons and 1 human girl appear. This student, who had been hiding in the shadows until now, was a flying demon. When he exhibited his bloodline and Appo's innate power, a pair of black wings would grow from his back. With these wings retracted, he could blend into the darkness, especially in shadowy areas, concealing his aura. He was clearly the one responsible for scouting in their team. Mei Gongzi naturally had her own tent, which was white and stood out among the few demons. Under Song Junho and Appo's arrangement, the tents of the other demons formed a circle around Mei Gongzi and Appo's tent. As the only female in the team, Mei Gongzi wasn't and Appo's even required to keep watch. Once he sensed they were all resting, Tang San quietly left. He retraced his steps back to his camp. The following day they set off again. Cheng Zicheng was still in charge of long-distance scouting. Tang San told her that the other party also had members capable of flight, and advised her to be cautious to avoid detection. On the second day, both teams progressed more slowly than the day before. Along the way, they encountered a number of demons, mainly of the 4th and 5th order. The weaker ones did not dare attack them. According to Chang Zicheng, the Beauty and the Beast team encountered even more demons than they did, including a group of over 20 baboon demons. These diamond baboons were not weak, with the strongest leader possessing 6th order strength. However, this was not much of a challenge for the Beauty and the Beast team. Song Junho, as the team leader, displayed his mighty power, easily defeating the leader and killing most of the diamond baboons. As for Tang San and his team, under the effect of the celestial fox vision, they only encountered 3 demons on the road. With their well-coordinated efforts, they dealt with these encounters without causing even the slightest disturbance. Chang Zicheng witnessed the different encounters of both teams. Despite being only 5 kilometers apart, their experiences were worlds apart. She was beginning to believe that Dubai and Appo's celestial fox transformation actually enhanced everyone and Appo's luck. At one point in the afternoon, Tang San suddenly grabbed Dubai and said, "Brother Dubai, do you feel anything?" "What feeling?" Dubai was momentarily stunned. "What do you mean?" Tang San said, like a premonition of danger. "Not at all." Dubai looked surprised. "What danger?" "I Don and Appo's. T feel anything?" "Oh, that and Appo's. Good then." Tang San nodded. For some reason since lunch, he had been feeling restless, yet his perception revealed nothing. He also had the 4th order celestial fox vision, and such a feeling undoubtedly indicated some impending danger. However, Dubai didn't and Appo's feel anything. What could this mean? Both he and Dubai had the 4th order celestial fox transformation. It was impossible for Dubai not to sense a crisis when Tang San did. After all, in terms of the cultivation level of the celestial fox vision, Tang San was definitely inferior to Dubai. Even if his spiritual power was stronger, sensing danger shouldn't and Appo's be such a big difference. Moreover, this restless feeling had persisted all afternoon, and it was only growing increasingly intense. Tang San and Appo's mind stirred slightly. Could it be that the danger was not with them, and their Redemption Society team was fine, but the problem lay with Mei Gongzi, whom he had been concerned about all this time? Is Mei Gongzi in danger? Does the Golden Lion Dog have designs on her? This was the only explanation that made sense for why Tang San felt a sense of crisis while Dubai did not. Dubai didn't know Mei Gongzi and her safety had nothing to do with the redemption team. It was normal for him to feel nothing, while Tang San and Appo's feelings resulted from his concerned mind. Chang Zicheng had been keeping an eye on the situation on the other side and hadn't and Appo's reported back any encounters with powerful demons or the like. The power of the demons was at most of the 9th order, and a 9th order demonic beast king would not normally appear on the outskirts of the Kali mountain range. And even if there was one with the Golden Lion Dog's 8th order strength and his golden bloodline, plus the entire team, even if they were facing a 9th order demonic beast king, they should be able to retreat at least, right? This was also the reason why they didn't and Appo's have a teacher accompanying them. Such a level of challenge didn't require one. If it wasn't and Appo's the threat of demonic beasts, then it had to be a man-made disaster, or rather a demon-made one. The greatest likelihood was that a problem would arise within their team. There had been no disturbances during the day, so the problem might occur at night, and it would probably be this very night. With this thought, Tang San subconsciously clenched his fists. No matter what, he had to ensure Mei Gongzi and Appo's safety. He would not hesitate even to use that bit of divine consciousness at a critical moment. Meanwhile, Tang San gained a deeper understanding of his celestial fox vision. Just a premonition of danger allowed him to deduce so much. Although it might not all be correct, the general scope should be fairly accurate. What slightly reassured him was that, despite the continuous feeling of unease, the sense of crisis was not too intense. This meant that the danger was not so great. Evening came quickly, and they continued to rest in sync with the Beauty and the Beast team on the other side, maintaining a distance of 5 to 6 kilometers. After dinner, Tang San left the team quietly, using the pretext of scouting the other team, and approached the Beauty and the Beast team once more. With the observations from the previous day, he became even more cautious today, paying special attention to whether the aura of the opposing team and Appo's scout was present in the darkness. He stopped at an even farther distance this time, watching from afar. The Beauty and the Beast team had chosen a campsite on higher ground tonight. Tents were already set up, and a blazing bonfire brought light and warmth to the night. A grill was set up over the fire, and demonic beast meat was roasting over it, with occasional drips of fat sizzling on the flames. The Golden Lion Dog, Mei Gongzi, and other demon students were all around the bonfire, waiting for their dinner. Seeing Mei Gongzi with his own eyes, Tang San could breathe a little easier. It was good that she was fine. However, his inner unease grew stronger as he neared the Beauty and the Beast's team. Where exactly does the danger originate from, internally or externally? Based on Tang San and Appo's assessment of the overall situation and evaluation of the team and Appo's strengths, the likelihood of an internal threat was definitely higher. While observing from the shadows, Tang San also adjusted his condition. He silently took out a black gold mask that could cover the upper half of his face and put it on, then checked the hidden weapons he had attached to his limbs. He concealed his aura and tuned his spirit, energy, and mind to their optimal state. The aroma of the demonic beast and Appo's meat gradually became tempting, and Tang San could smell it. Their Redemption Academy team, sadly, did not dare to roast meat so openly as it was too revealing. One reason was their fear of being discovered by the demon race, due to their identity as members of the Redemption Society, and another reason was that they were not really confident in facing all demonic beasts that might come their way. If they brazenly roasted meat, their teacher would probably come and reprimand them immediately. Tang San didn't know where Zhang Haoshuan was, but it was likely that his master was keeping an appropriate distance and probably observing him from behind at this very moment. This was one reason for Tang San and Appo's confidence, having a ninth order powerhouse behind him. Should he encounter a danger, he Kuden and Appo's face, the mayor would be there to back him up. He Wooden and Appo's easily reveal that bit of his divine consciousness unless there was no other option. The demonic beast's meat was roasted, and a demon student from the Beauty and the Beast team took out some seasoning to sprinkle on it, then used a small knife to cut and share the meat. Tang San naturally disapproved of their way of barbecuing. Some parts were even burnt. It might have become too tough to chew if not for the rich fat in the demonic beast meat. Such good ingredients wasted. In Tang San and Appo's eyes, this world lacked the concept of gourmet food. Of course he could cook delicacies, but he hadn't, and Appo's had the opportunity to showcase this skill yet, and he was looking forward to it. Mei Gongzi only ate a small piece of meat and not much else. She was still drinking her beverage, milk tea perhaps, but it seemed she had no intention of sharing it with others. The other demon students ate heartily, devouring an entire demon beast. Obviously they had enormous appetites. Still no change. Everything seemed normal. Yet that unease lingered in Tang San and Appo's mind. What's about to happen? The aroma of demonic beast meat, so strong even from afar. You seem to be living quite comfortably in these days of your training. A somewhat sinister voice suddenly echoed. The cold voice seemed to emanate from all directions, resounding through the mountains and woods, sending chills down the listener's spine. It wasn't and Appo's one of the team members, so it appeared that Tang San had been mistaken and it was indeed an external threat. But whose voice was this? Even with Tang San and Appo's spiritual power and the observing ability of his discerning eye of heaven, he hadn't and Appo's noticed anything before this voice appeared. The next instant he saw several figures descending from the sky. As they approached the Beauty and the Beast team and Appo's bonfire, their bodies were illuminated in a myriad of colors. It was very strange. As it turned out, fanning out behind them were tails of peacock plumes. Instantly spread out, they were exceptionally dazzling under the reflection of the bonfire light. Peacock and Appo's display. The peacock demons. There were 5 figures descending from the sky, 4 of which had peacock plumes. The one in the center, however, did not, and he actually appeared to be a normal human. He was tall and ramrod straight, with a very handsome appearance, looking to be in his 20s. However, his complexion was pale, and his lips were slightly thin. Hearing this voice and seeing this person and Appo's appearance, the Golden Lion Dog and other students from Kali Academy were all taken aback. They had all stood up by now, and Mei Gongzi and Appo's brow was furrowed. The young man in his 20s smiled slightly and said, "My dear sister, I heard you were out for training, so I have come to see you. Aren't you moved by your brother's love?" Mei Gongzi replied indifferently, I Don and Appos. T have a brother. The young man scoffed, of course you Don and Appos T. What right does a mixed blood like you have to possess the noble bloodline of the great peacock demon emperor? Come with me and don't make things difficult for yourself. Wang Yan, what do you mean? The golden lion dog stepped forward, moving in front of Mei Gongzi. Little lion, Don and Appos T metal. This is an internal matter of our clan and none of your business. You and Appos, not qualified enough to play the hero. Others might fear the golden family, but the peacock demons with their demon emperor heritage certainly did not. Song Junho coldly said, do you know what you and Appos re doing? Although you are the city lord and Appos' son, Kali Academy is protected by the ancestral court. If you dare to lay a hand on us, a complaint to the ancestral court will have serious consequences for you. The young man addressed as Wang Yan gave a slight smile. Oh no, I and Appos am so scared. Don and Appos. Do you realize how stupid you and Appos re being? I was planning to let you go, but now that you and Appos re-threatening me, I guess I have no choice but to silence you by killing you. Having someone from a golden bloodline as a companion in death for my so-called sister is not a bad option either. Song Junho and Appos' face changed. Wang Yan, you and Appos re just the trash of your family. Do you have that much confidence that you can defeat us? Wang Yan shrugged. Well, maybe I and Appos am not cut out for this. After all, we and Appos re both 8th order. And me being the black sheep? As the legitimate eldest son, I'm about to lose my inheritance to my dad's whims. So I have no choice but to take out anyone threatening me. Don't think I haven't figured out why you and Appos re getting close to my so-called sister. It's because you heard my dad might make her an heir to the throne, right? You and Appos reading too much into it. My dad and Appos just trying to fire up some competition between me and my useless brothers. Pausing, he turned his gaze to Mei Gongzi behind Song Junho. But yeah, my sister does work harder than us. She's not even 14 and already a 6th order, which is kind of annoying. If she ends up being the rightful heir, she'd have the divine precedence law on her side, making her a real threat. How can we, descendants of the peacock demon emperor, let a half-blood mutt compete for this? We can only wipe away this disgrace with her blood. As her brother, it is my duty to fix this mess. Song Junho and Appos' expression grew even nastier. He could feel the immense power of the 4 peacock demon clansmen around him, all of 8th order cultivation. On their side, he was the only one of the 8th order. Moreover, the peacock demon clan was the clan of a great demon king. Even though there was no demon emperor ruling over them at the moment, their bloodline power was extreme. At the same level, he might not even be a match for Wang Yan. If all of you pretend you Haven and Appos seen or heard anything, I might just let you off the hook. We can pretend that she just fell into the mouth of a demonic beast. As the legitimate eldest son, even my useless brothers are not as good as me. Once I inherit the throne and carry on the will of the demon king, I will offer you my favor. Unless necessary, Wang Yan didn't and Appos want to kill Song Junho. After all, he was the direct descendant of a golden bloodline. If he killed him with no good reason and information got out, Wang Yan himself would be in big trouble. So, his previous words were more for intimidation. Song Junho indeed hesitated. He naturally intended to curry favor with Mei Gongzi not just for her beauty, but more so for the needs of his family. The internal strife within the Golden Lion family was severe. To inherit the throne in the future, not only did he need to be strong himself, but external support was also necessary. He had heard that Mei Gongzi might be one of the candidates for the current Demon King and Appos' throne, which was why he had this idea. Otherwise, given Mei Gongzi and Appos' human bloodline and the pride of his golden family and Appos' bloodline, he would never have approached her. Faced with the potential danger to his life and considering the Peacock Demon clan and Appos' exceptional speed, escaping in front of so many powerful beings seemed incredibly difficult, causing him to hesitate. If he were to fall at the hands of Wang Yan, especially in these remote mountains, and his comrades were utterly silenced, his family might not even find out. Besides, he wasn't an Appos' the only heir in his family. Moreover, Wang Yan and Appos' approach to eliminating threats seemed normal to him. In any demon clan, such situations arose when one in Appo's right to inheritance was threatened. This was the law of the jungle in the demon world. But if I simply back off, will Wang Yan really let him go? Seeing Song Juanho's apparent hesitation, Wang Yan and Appo's smile grew thicker. You should know who has a better chance. A half-blood or me, the legitimate eldest son. In the history of our demon clans, there has never been a case of a half-blood inheriting the throne. It will not be an exception for her. The ancestral court wouldn't and Appo's allow it either. She is just a tool used to motivate us. Think it through and step aside. My word is my bond, we one and Appo's kill her in front of you, we will just take her away. You just need to pretend you haven and Appo's seen anything. Song Juanho took a deep breath and suddenly shouted, "No way. If you want to take her, you must defeat me first." As he spoke, a brilliant golden light erupted from his body. With a stride, he charged directly at Wang Yan. Wang Yan was momentarily stunned. The young man was hesitating, so why was he suddenly making a move? But in the next instant, a smirk appeared on Wang Yan and Appo's lips. He didn't and Appo's need to take action himself. A peacock demon with his tail feathers spread out had already flashed forward. The tail feathers, ablaze with light, absorbed the surrounding spiritual energy. With a swing of his right hand, a multicolored light surged from his palm, colliding directly with Song Juanho and Appo's assault. With a loud boom, Song Juanho was sent flying away. As he made his move, the other team members also attacked, each targeting the nearby peacock demons. However, the strength of the 4 peacock demon guards was formidable. In just a moment they had knocked their attackers to the ground and kicked them down the mountainside into the distance. In just a few breaths, only Wang Yan and the 5 peacock demons, along with Mei Gongzi, who had neither moved nor spoken throughout, remained in the camp. Tang San had been quietly approaching since the peacock demons appeared, listening to their conversation. He also witnessed Song Juanho and the others being knocked down the hill. Is the golden lion dog really so weak? Of course he wasn't. Tang San watched as he and his teammates fled immediately after being knocked down the mountainside. Yes, he had simply taken his teammates and run away. There was clearly some trickery involved. It was either a prearranged scheme or a newly reached agreement. Given the initial conversation and how quickly they ran, the latter seemed more likely. My dear sister, now we can have a good talk, Wang Yan said, a smile curling up his lips, as the other 4 peacock demons slowly moved forward, tightening the circle. Mei Gongzi and Appo's face remained calm, her eyes cold. I have nothing to say to you, and I and Appo's am not your sister. A cold light flickered in Wang Yan and Appo's eyes. Honestly, I also wish you Waren and Appo's my sister. With your looks, if we Waren and Appo's related, it'd be nice to have you as a concubine when you're older. Too bad you were born into this mess. You shouldn't have made our dad like you so much. Just come with us. I won't kill you. Don't want to alert our dad through our bloodline connection. I'll just lock you up until I take the throne, and then I'll let you go. Hearing his words, Mei Gongzi scoffed coldly. HMPF, with your cowardly character, you're still dreaming of inheriting the throne? If you do, that will be the end of the peacock demons. Wang Yan flew into a rage. His most tremendous and deep resentment was due to being labeled as useless since childhood. Though his talent was indeed mediocre, and he was not diligent, such demons were often the ones who desired to prove themselves the most. He might not have any skills to be proud of, but he certainly had a proud heart. Take her down. Wang Yan bellowed in anger. The 4 8th Order peacock demons were about to make their move, but they suddenly sensed something and abruptly scattered in all directions. A cold light fell from the sky, silent as a whisper with a series of sharp sounds. The glinting cold lights instantly buried themselves into the ground, vanishing from sight. The sharp aura in that instant gave even the 8th Order peacock demons a chilling sensation down their spines. The peacock demon race, naturally endowed with powerful perceptive abilities, had suddenly sensed imminent danger, which prompted their instantaneous evasion. Wang Yan too was startled. He leapt back abruptly, and the expression on his face changed dramatically. He barked, "Who in Appo's there?" A yellow light flickered instantly, and Mei Gongzi, acting on instinct, raised her hand, only for it to be suddenly seized by a powerful grip. The next moment, wrapped in the flickering yellow light, she was suddenly whisked out of the hillside and Appo's range. A swath of cold lights instantly burst forth from that yellow figure, hurling toward the 5 peacock demons. The one who acted was naturally Tang San. He had been biding his time, understanding all too well that defeating these peacock demons was impossible with his current strength. He stood no chance against such a formidable race and Appo's 8th Order members unless he unleashed his divine consciousness. Those streaks of cold light were bolts fired from the godly Zhuge crossbows. 2 fully loaded godly Zhuge crossbows alternating their shots for repelling the enemies, seizing a person, and covering the retreat. The whole process was executed in one fluid motion. Mei Gongzi and Appo's hand was small and delicate, and it felt cool to the touch. When Tang San grasped it, a surge of immeasurable love almost instantly rose inside him. As he held her hand tightly, he was filled with indescribable complex emotions. Keeping them under control, he activated Leopard Flash in succession like it was nothing, running away with Mei Gongzi as if they were shooting stars. Facing the Zhuge crossbows, the 4 peacock demons swung their own plumes, blocking the crossbow bolts fired at close range amidst a series of metallic clashing sounds. Their strength was formidable. Confronting such a powerful attack, their peacock plumes blossomed in the air like a fan, easily deflecting each cold light. However, they were still taken aback by the mighty force carried by the bolts. While blocking the bolts from the godly Zhuge crossbows, Tang San, with Mei Gongzi in tow, used Leopard Flash several times in succession, escaping dozens of meters away. Fools chased them. Wang Yin bellowed, and all 5 peacock demons spread their wings, pursuing Tang San and Mei Gongzi without a moment's delay. At this time, Tang San and Appo's discerning eye of heaven was fully activated. Everything around him was clear in his mind without the need for actual. Each use of Leopard Flash was precisely executed using the trees for cover, forcing the 5 peacock demons to determine their direction of escape constantly. However, 8th Order was 8th Order, especially since the peacock demons were of the highest bloodline tier. Their lithe forms could nimbly cross both mountains and forests, and their low-altitude flight through the woods was truly swift. White light surged in Tang San and Appo's eyes, and a white vertical eye gradually lit up on his forehead. As it was concealed by his mask, even Mei Gongzi at his side couldn't and Appo's see this vertical eye and Appo's appearance. She could only feel that Tang San and Appo's aura seemed different at this moment, as if he had merged with the world around him, becoming an inseparable part of it. Tang San suddenly flung out his left hand, hurling Mei Gongzi forward. His voice rang in Mei Gongzi and Appo's ears. Go quickly, I and Appo's. I'll draw them away. Mei Gongzi and Appo's delicate body flew forward, and her peacock wings unfurled behind her. As she soared ahead, she turned her head to look back at Tang San, her beautiful eyes filled with astonishment. This sudden rescue made no sense to her. From this stranger she felt an odd sense of trust. She didn't and Appo's perceive his strength as particularly great. Those continuous leopard flashes indicated he possessed the flash leopard bloodline. Yet, it was not easy to master leopard flash to such an extent. After all, the flash leopard was not a powerful species to begin with, and the one who saved her was human. Having thrown Mei Gongzi to safety, Tang San stopped in his tracks, reaching into his storage bag with his right hand and instantly pulling out his godly Zhuge crossbows. The 2 crossbows in his hands flickered like illusions as he rapidly loaded bolt after bolt. He had redesigned the quiver for quick reloading and prepared the bolts in advance, so it took him just a brief moment to have them locked and loaded. In this brief moment, the 5 peacock demons had already caught up. With a slight smile on his lips and the white light in his eyes growing more intense, Tang San thought, "Come, taste the fate-favored might of my Zhuge crossbows, the Etherhorn bolts." The arrays on both godly Zhuge crossbows lit up with a faint white glow, and in the next instant, bolts enshrouded in a soft white light shot out. Previously, while rescuing Mei Gongzi, Tang San had focused on maximizing the speed of his leopard flash, so he had not infused the power of the discerning eye of heaven into the Zhuge crossbows. Now their true power was unleashed. These bolts, except for the faint white light wrapping them, seemed no different from those before. However, the 8 pursuing peacock demons felt an intense sense of crisis. They all wielded their peacock feathers to defend while trying to evade. But then something strange happened. Wang Yan precisely pointed his peacock feather at a bolt, but for some unknown reason, his heart suddenly trembled and his feather was inexplicably skewed, allowing the bolt to graze past its edge and arrive instantly at his chest. Caught off guard, Wang Yan found it too late to dodge. Numerous peacock feathers moved from his back to protect him, blocking in front. However, eerily, the bolt found its way through the gaps, and although brushed by the peacock feathers, it still pierced his body. Wang Yan felt his bloodline power suddenly stagnate for a moment, and a pain in his chest indicated he was wounded. And this was only the first bolt. Similar situations occurred with most other bolts. He and the other 4 peacock demons also encountered various problems, inexplicably failing to block the powerful bolts. For a time, muffled grunts echoed as the 5 powerful peacock demons and Appo's defenses were broken, causing them to fall from the sky. Tang San and Appo's smile broadened slightly. Indeed, the effects of the Etherhorn bolts are the best. Due to their size and the quality of the black gold, the Zhuge crossbows could only carry one demonic god transformation effect at a time. Otherwise, their power would be even more terrifying if combined with other effects. The 5 8th Order powerhouses were all immediately subdued by the godly Zhuge crossbows with the effects of the discerning eye of heaven. Although such injuries were unlikely to penetrate their muscles and cause severe damage, they still instilled terror in the 5 peacock demons as they Kuden and Appo's comprehend what force had harmed them. After firing, Tang San turned and ran, pursuing Mei Gongzi ahead. To his dismay, he found Mei Gongzi hadn't and Appo's run far. She was nearby, looking at him curiously. "Are you stupid? Run!" Tang San Kuden and Appo's helped but scold her. He dashed to her side like lightning, grabbed her hand again, and pulled her as he ran forward. Mei Gongzi and Appo's hand twitched, but she was unable to pull away from Tang San and Appo's grasp. He had already stored both Zhuge crossbows in his storage bag, not reloading them as he had no more bolts. The bolts he had previously crafted were only enough for 2 volleys. The 5 peacock demons behind them didn't and Appo's pursue further, possibly frightened by the Etherhorn-infused crossbow bolts. After running for over 10 kilometers, Tang San gradually slowed down, sensing no pursuit from behind. "They did not pursue us, but they're probably not dead," Tang San whispered. Using the mysterious heaven technique, he slightly altered his voice to sound more mature than his usual tone. Mei Gongzi nodded, then looked at him earnestly. "Shuden and Appo's, you let go of my hand now?" Yes." Tang San reluctantly released her hand. Mei Gongzi and Appo's initially cold hand had warmed up a bit in his grasp. "Who are you?" Mei Gongzi scrutinized him with an intense gaze. Tang San and Appo's face was covered with a mask and they wore dark clothes. Hesitating upon hearing her question, he longed to tell her, "I am your husband from a previous life, and I will be in this life as well." But saying that would probably make him sound insane. "You can call me Azura." Tang San intended to name his alias Sea God, after his godly title from a past life, but that seemed too extravagant. Azura, another divine title he once shared with his wife in a past life, felt more fitting. "Azura?" Mei Gongzi paused, finding the name a bit strange. "Are you human?" she asked. Yeah. Tang San nodded. "Thank you for saving me." Mei Gongzi's voice remained somewhat indifferent, as if the previous danger had nothing to do with her. Such mental fortitude, Tang San thought to himself. "No need to thank me," he replied. In his mind he added, "I will always protect you." "I must go now," said Mei Gongzi, turning to leave. "Where are you going now?" Tang San asked. Mei Gongzi replied, "Back to my camp. My tent is still there." "Go back?" Tang San was startled. "Aran and Appo's, you afraid of those demons who are after you?" Mei Gongzi silently shook her head. "If they didn't dare to kill me, what else can they do? If they were competent, they wouldn't and Appo's need to fear someone like me with a human bloodline." A thought struck Tang San, and he suddenly realized something. Throughout the entire attack, Mei Gongzi had remained calm and composed even now. What did this imply? Did she have a contingency plan? Something to counter those who were after her, like Wang Yan and Appo's men? Was he overthinking due to his concern for her? But at that moment, when they were about to lay hands on Mei Gongzi, how could he possibly not save her? Realizing all this, he didn't oppose. T asked further questions, only silently watching as Mei Gongzi gradually disappeared into the night. Suddenly, she stopped, turned toward Tang San, and lifted her right hand, brushing back the long hair at her temples. A deep blue light suddenly shone on the back of her right hand. Tang San and Appo's pupils contracted instantly upon seeing that deep blue color. "You can call me Mei Gongzi." Mei Gongzi waved at him, then turned and leaped up, disappearing into the forest in an instant. Tang San stood still for a long time, unmoving. To someone who possessed visual abilities like he had, that patch of blue could not be clearer. It was unmistakably a rune he was highly familiar with and in fact possessed himself. However, the rune on his hand was orange. Yes, that was the Redemption Society's mark. Red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple. The Redemption Society's members were divided into 7 classes, and blue represented the second level in the hierarchy of the entire Redemption Society. Tang San clearly remembered that his master, the mayor, had once told him that in Kali City, the highest class was and Appo's, his green class but the blue class. There were only 2 blue class individuals there. Tang San once thought one of them might be the god-tier powerhouse Siru, but later found out Siru was also green class. He had naturally always been curious about the blue class members. Yet, he never imagined that the future wife he wanted to protect with all his heart was one of them. She and Appo's only in her teens. How could she be at the blue class? When she showed me the blue class redemption bloodline imprint, she was trying to confirm my identity, whether I was a member of the Redemption Society. Tang San chose not to reveal his mark because he didn't oppose. Want Mei Gongzi to see that he was at the orange class, as it would likely expose his identity. He hid his true self under the identity of Azura to more easily protect her in the future, do things that Tang San and his friend Sweeper Tang San couldn't oppose, do openly, and conceal his ability to use multiple demonic god transformations. Tang San had previously thought that since she was also a human vassal, there might be a chance to bring her into the Redemption Society. When he had rescued Mei Gongzi earlier, he had considered revealing his affiliation with the Redemption Society to guide her into joining. But due to Mei Gongzi and Appo's calm demeanor, Tang San had decided to leave matters be for now. Unexpectedly, not only was she part of the Redemption Society, but she was also among its top echelon. This was clearly related to Mei Gongzi and Appo's peacock transformation and her status within the Peacock Demon clan. Tang San and Appo's mind was in disarray, but he gradually calmed down after some time. Since Mei Gongzi was at the blue class, and considering her attitude, it was clear that the likes of Wang Yan posed no threat to her. No wonder those premonitions through the discerning eye of Heaven Waren and Appo's very strong. Was it because Mei Gongzi could handle the situation herself? He decided to return first and think about it later. Just then Tang San felt his heart skip a beat, and someone appeared beside him. "Why did you do it?" a familiar voice asked. Tang San turned to look at the mayor, his master, who had arrived beside him. This was his most significant source of confidence. If he couldn't oppose, take Mei Gongzi away, there was likely no need to use even a bit of his divine consciousness. He was certain that his master was secretly following him. Ever since he revealed his ability to simultaneously use the Chrono Croc transformation and the Celestial Fox transformation, it was indisputable that he held a highly esteemed position in his master's eyes. Suddenly, Tang San thought of a possibility and turned to Zhang Haoshuan. "Master, did you come with us this time to protect both us and her?" Quick response. "But you Haven and Appo's answered my question yet," Zhang Haoshuan said irritably. Tang San gave an awkward smile, removed the mask from his face, and put it into his bag. "If I say it was love at first sight, would you believe me?" After a moment of silence, Zhang Haoshuan tilted his head at him and said, "Oddly enough, I do. It doesn't really make sense to me otherwise. Kid, you and Appo's becoming more and more mysterious in my eyes. Everything about you can only be described as extraordinary." He opened his hands as he spoke, revealing several crossbow bolts that glinted with a chilling light. "Except for those that hit those peacock demons, I and Appo's retrieved the rest for you." "How you and Appo's V combined this weapon with the demonic god transformation, particularly the celestial fox transformation, is beyond my understanding. Zhang Haoshuan, who had been secretly protecting them, was almost dumbfounded when he saw Tang San injure 5 8th Order peacock demons at once with his godly Zhuge crossbows. Those were peacock demons. Even as a 9th Order, he wasn't and Oppos. Sure he could handle 5 great peacock demons at once without resorting to his life-bound weapon. But Tang San had done it with his small crossbow bolts. Those peacock demons didn't and Oppos. Continue their pursuit due to the intimidation they felt as Zhang Haoshuan released his aura in the distance, as well as the cowardly nature of Mei Gongzi and Oppos, supposed elder brother, who was panicked after being injured. Blue class, she and Oppos. Actually a blue class. Why, master? Shuden and Oppos. You have told me about it? Tang San said with a wry smile. Zhang Haoshuan laughed quite delightedly because this was the first time since he had known Tang San that he was seeing his pupil appear at a loss. Usually, Tang San seemed to have everything under control, and he always pulled something surprising out of his sleeve. She is a blue redeemer due to her potential future growth and importance to the organization. Of course, you have already become more important in my heart than her. However, your significance should remain unknown to the organization until you fully grow. Tang San and Oppos' mouth twitched slightly. But blue class so important, could it be? He suddenly thought of a possibility. Can you even guess that? Zhang Haoshuan looked at him surprised. Tang San shrugged. I heard her previous conversation with that Wang Yan. If you continue, someone might have to silence you one day, Zhang Haoshuan said, his words laden with significance. It won and Oppos, happen as you said. I am somewhat more important than her. Tang San said nonchalantly. The mayor and Oppos' attitude toward him seemed to be changing more and more. It was less like a teacher-student relationship and more like speaking to an equal. He was no longer being seen as a mere child. If you Don and Oppos' want to be silenced, hand over the method for making this hidden weapon. To you it'll be a great contribution. To everyone else it'll be my contribution. Tang San said, Master, this is not good. Can and Oppos' bear to part with it? Zhang Haoshuan looked at him, half smiling. No, that's not it. The thing is, this hidden weapon is really complex. Not just anyone can make it. More importantly, if the Redemption Society uses it on a large scale, it will alert both the demon and nymph clans. After all, once they have it, they'll definitely use it. You and Oppos' seen the power of my godly Zhuge crossbow. It has a special array. And if it's infused with different demonic god transformations, it can produce many different effects. Once the demon and nymph clans become alert, it could spell disaster for the organization. Of course, I am willing to give you the design. Still, I wouldn't like to hand it over to the organization right now, for the same reason you worry about the spread of my mysterious heaven technique. Having a treasure could spell disaster for me. Then why do you use it? Zhang Haoshuan asked with a playful expression. It won't cause problems just because 1 or 2 people use it. After all, no one would associate it with our Redemption Society specifically, Tang San said confidently. Zhang Haoshuan nodded. You do make sense to some extent. But I must remind you, Don and Oppos' provoked Mei Gongzi. Her importance to the organization far surpasses ours. Tang San and Oppos' eyes flickered. Is it to infiltrate the Peacock Demon clan? Or even to control it? Zhang Haoshuan and Oppos' expression darkened. Knowing too much is not good for you. This matter is of great significance, even the most important direction for the organization. Your sudden awareness of this in this accident is not good. Do you understand what I mean? I understand. Tang San nodded without hesitation, but I Don and Oppos' understand why Mei Gongzi didn't and Oppos' take action against me before. When I first rescued her, I didn't and Oppos' have a clear feeling, but later from her attitude, I could sense that she had a backup plan to deal with her so-called brother, and she could have rescued herself. If anything, I may have inconvenienced her with my rescue. I half expected her to attack me so that she could keep her secrets hidden. Attack you? Your human identity would prevent her from attacking you, especially since you saved her. What do you think our Redemption Society is? An assassin organization. Zhang Haoshuan said irritably. But with that said, her attitude toward you is strange. She didn't and Oppos' T delve into your identity and even use the redemption mark to confirm. It and Oppos. S write that you didn't and Oppos. T reveal the redemption mark. Otherwise, how would you hide your identity and that weapon? Tang San nodded. I want to maintain this secret identity. It and Oppos. LL be useful for covering up any future actions. Anyway, stay away from her in the future, and Don and Oppos. T provoke her with any identity, Zhang Haoshuan advised. Tang San said helplessly Don and Oppos. T you think I can help her? ISN and Oppos. T your disciple very outstanding? I like her. You and Oppos. Re just a kid who hasn't and Oppos. T matured yet. What do you know about liking someone? Get back quickly. Don and Oppos. T make me angry, Zhang Haoshuan scolded him, ruffling his hair. Tang San and Oppos. S mouth twitched. Me? A child? I was tens of thousands of years old when your ancestors were babies. However, Zhang Haoshuan and Oppos' attitude was somewhat reassuring. This master was genuinely protective of him. Despite Mei Gongzi and Oppos' blue class status, he didn't and Oppos' T exposed Tang San as a member of the redemption earlier, more to protect him and keep his secret. Undoubtedly, Zhang Haoshuan and Oppos' valuation of Tang San and Oppos' mysterious heaven technique was at least not less than Mei Gongzi and Oppos' The mayor was clearly an intelligent person. Mei Gongzi silently returned to her campsite, where the campfire was still burning, but her teammates had not returned. The campfire crackled, but Mei Gongzi and Oppos' beautiful eyes carried a hint of confusion and contemplation. Just before she was rescued by that mysterious man called Azura, she had an extraordinary feeling. When Azura first held her hand and led her away, she even felt a moment of daze, which was a first for her. She was fully alert then, so how could she suddenly follow a stranger? Although those crossbows attracted everyone and Oppos' attention, she should not have made such a mistake. What puzzled her the most was when Azura grabbed her hand. It felt very natural, habitual even, as if this wasn't an Oppos' the first time he had held her hand. But in her memory, even her supposed father had never been so close. How could a stranger grab her hand like that? And if the first time she had been caught off guard, what about the second time? When he pulled her and ran again, the naturalness and firmness with which he held her hand were the same. In that instant, Mei Gongzi felt a unique sense of security in her heart. The moment he held her hand, she felt it clearly. She trusted that he would protect her at all costs. Why is it so? She wondered, genuinely puzzled. She Shuden and Oppos' have revealed her identity as a member of the redemption, but in the end, unable to control her emotions, she wanted to confirm if the other person was from the Redemption Society. However, he seemed not to understand, which meant that he wasn't an Oppos' a member of the organization. What exactly was going on? Azura, such a strange name. Who is he? And why did he suddenly appear here to protect me? It and Oppos' as if he was following me in secret. With a heart full of doubts, Mei Gongzi sat beside the campfire. A surprised voice rang out, "You dare to come back?" Without turning her head, Mei Gongzi silently threw a piece of wood into the fire. Why Wuden and Oppos' I dare to come back. This is my resting place. Wang Yan, looking somewhat pale, emerged from the forest with 4 followers from the Peacock clan. Every one of them was injured. The operation of the Etherhorn-imbued godly Zhuge crossbow had almost subjected them to the baptism of powerful bolts, and the penetrating abilities of black gold were fully displayed. Although they were not seriously injured, they all suffered to varying degrees. Yet what made them most unsettled was not their injuries, but the oddness of this whole situation. "Where is that guy?" Wang Yan said with fearful anger. As he spoke, he vigilantly observed the surroundings. "Who are you talking about?" Mei Gongzi continued to add wood to the fire unperturbed. "The one who rescued you," Wang Yan said angrily, tossing a few black gold crossbow bolts to the ground as he spoke. After being injured, they sensed the aura of a 9th Order powerhouse and did not dare to continue the pursuit out of fear. Though their injuries weren't and Oppos' severe, their frustration was immense. How embarrassing was it for 5 8th Order powerhouses to fail to capture a 6th Order teenager and even suffer collective injuries. Wang Yan decided to use the Beauty and the Beast squad and Oppos' camp to rest for a bit, to treat his wounds, and to plan tomorrow and Oppos' actions. Unexpectedly, after all their searching, Mei Gongzi had returned on her own, and alone at that. Moreover, his arrival seemed to be of no concern to Mei Gongzi. What is this situation? Wang Yan and Appo's anger stemmed more from the humiliation of being underestimated and ignored. I don't know, Mei Gongzi replied indifferently, then slowly stood and turned toward the five of them. Capture her, Wang Yan commanded loudly. His four subordinates immediately surrounded Mei Gongzi but kept a nervous watch on their surroundings, as the previous crossbow attack had left them with a profound sense of foreboding. The feeling of being unable to dodge was terrifying. While it had not been fatal this time, what if a crossbow bolt hit a vital spot like the eyes? One of them had even gotten his palm pierced while trying to protect his eyes. Mei Gongzi looked at them and shook her head gently. You think you can lay your dirty hands on me? Get down now. As she spoke, she waved her hand gently. Immediately, a bizarre scene unfolded. The four peacock demons approaching her swayed and slowly collapsed to the ground. Wang Yan was stunned and exclaimed, "What did you do to them?" Mei Gongzi looked at him intensely. What punishment is due for plotting against the royal family? Calling you a fool would be an insult to the word. Have you forgotten even the secret arts of our race? Peacock valor? You can wield the power of peacock valor? Impossible, you're a half-blood. Wang Yan was shocked, his gaze filled with disbelief as he looked at Mei Gongzi. Mei Gongzi gently waved her right hand, and a peacock plume appeared in her grasp. The slender quill of the plume was in her hand, and the colorful barbs at the top swayed gently. The patterns formed by the peacock blue on the feather emitted a faint halo, within which countless rings of light seemed to orbit and bloom. The feathers on Wang Yan's back instantly spread out, and his tail plumes emitted a similar halo. However, upon closer inspection, the blue on the plume in Mei Gongzi and Appo's hand appeared deeper, with a more pronounced halo. The light emitted by Wang Yan and Appo's peacock plume seemed somewhat paler in comparison. No, this can't be. Why is your bloodline stronger than mine? Impossible! Wang Yan exclaimed in disbelief. The richness of a bloodline signified its nobility. He could not believe that Mei Gongzi, who had human blood, could possess a more potent peacock demon bloodline than himself. Peacock valor was one of the innate abilities of the peacock demon race. It emitted an intangible aura, and only those of the purest bloodline among the royal family could activate the power of peacock valor upon reaching adulthood. Should any member of the race threaten a member of the royal family, under the deterrence of peacock valor, they would temporarily lose all the powers of their peacock demon bloodline. Mei Gongzi was still a few years away from adulthood. According to the peacock demon race and Appo's age norms, one was considered an adult at 16. Wang Yan, of course, was already an adult and possessed the ability of peacock valor, but it posed no threat to those of the royal bloodline like Mei Gongzi, so he had not activated it earlier. He never could have imagined that Mei Gongzi would be stronger than him in this aspect. They were of the same royal lineage, but still, having a weaker bloodline meant being somewhat suppressed. The four peacock demons who had fallen to the ground were now trembling in fear. Plotting against a royal family was an absolute great sin among any demon race, with consequences extending to one and Appo's family. Previously, they had unhesitatingly attacked Mei Gongzi because she was a half-blood, but how could they have imagined that not only was Mei Gongzi and Appo's royal peacock bloodline richer than Wang Yan and Appo's but she had also awakened the power of peacock valor before reaching adulthood? Her talent was peerless. She was clearly a rare genius among the peacock demon race. Aren't you contesting the throne succession with me? Then today is a perfect opportunity. Let us duel here with them as witnesses. Whoever loses dies, Mei Gongzi said indifferently while slowly lifting the peacock plume. The originally ivory-colored quill of the peacock plume gradually turned peacock blue, emitting a demonic glow. Her long black hair also turned peacock blue at this moment. Blue light twinkled in her eyes, and her delicate body slowly levitated up from the ground. Enormous wings unfolded behind her, and her aura rose. The vast space around her was bathed in peacock blue. A speck of golden light slowly shone on her forehead, turning into a golden line that extended diagonally upward from between her brows, sketching out a magnificent golden pattern on her forehead, as if she was wearing a crown. Seventh Order. Wang Yan cried out in shock, staring intensely at the golden pattern on Mei Gongzi's forehead. his face turning ashen. Wang Yan's mind went blank at this moment. As a royal family member, he was all too familiar with the golden pattern on Mei Gongzi and Appo's forehead. It was the mark of the peacock royal family, the peacock golden crown. Only those of the purest bloodline in the peacock royal family could awaken it. Awakening the peacock golden crown signified the talent to break through limits and achieve the status of a demon emperor, not just a demon king. Although possessing such talent did not guarantee becoming a demon king, at least their father, the current peacock demon king, had not achieved the status of demon emperor. However, this at least represented a chance. Most importantly, Wang Yan himself had not yet formed his own peacock golden crown. The formation of the peacock golden crown had nothing to do with cultivation level, but was related to potential and talent. It also represented an undeniable right to succession. Only now did Wang Yan truly understand why Mei Gongzi, despite being a human hybrid, was granted the right to succession. When his father, the king, had announced this, nearly all the family elders had opposed it. Yet, his father had merely remarked, "We and Appos. I'll discuss this later," without further explanation. Of course there was no further explanation. What explanation was needed? The Peacock Golden Crown was a first-class ticket to succession rights. Moreover, this was the first Peacock Golden Crown in their generation. He, the so-called legitimate eldest son, only had a faint outline of the Peacock Golden Crown. Seeing the Golden Crown was like witnessing the king and Appos' presence. The four peacock demons, subdued by the power of peacock valor, were now genuinely trembling in fear. Attempting to assassinate a member of the royal family was already a grave sin, let alone one with the Peacock Golden Crown, who was for all intents and purposes a future demon king. Escaping death seemed nearly impossible. The Peacock Golden Crown shone brilliantly with intense golden light. Despite Wang Yan being a level higher in cultivation and unaffected by peacock valor due to his royal bloodline, he was deeply intimidated by the presence of the Peacock Golden Crown. He had never been a warrior of absolute courage or any kind of warrior for that matter. Pick up your peacock plume. Do not disgrace our royal family. Aren't you contending for the throne? I give you this opportunity and right to challenge me. Mei Gongzi said coldly. She had the right to say this, for she bore the Peacock Golden Crown. Its presence meant that no demon could question her bloodline. The Peacock Golden Crown gave her indisputable superiority among the peacock demons. Even though Wang Yan was the legitimate eldest son, his ranking would be below Mei Gongzi and Appos' until he manifested his own golden crown. Sister, if I say this was all a misunderstanding, would you believe me? Wang Yan involuntarily took 2 steps back. In the face of Mei Gongzi's powerful aura, he didn't and Appos' to even have the heart to fight back. Mei Gongzi simply looked at him coldly, the light from the peacock plume in her hand growing increasingly intense. The vast wings and tail feathers spread out behind her were fabulously resplendent. Female peacock demons usually did not have long tail feathers, except those of royal lineage. The tail feathers of the royalty, however, were even longer and more dazzling than normal male peacock demons' feathers. Mei Gongzi was already stunningly beautiful, and her appearance was further enhanced by the spectacular tail feathers, rendering her beauty beyond compare. Greetings to the crown successor with the golden crown, Wang Yan suddenly exclaimed, kneeling down on one knee. Mei Gongzi's lips twitched. Even someone like her could barely maintain her icy demeanor. Is this all Wang Yan is capable of? I was wrong. I disrespected the crown successor with the golden crown. I was momentarily blinded, and I did not know you had already formed the golden crown. I only aimed to ensure the purity of our peacock lineage. I deeply realize my mistake now. My subordinates were incited by me as well. Please grant us an opportunity to compensate for our sins. Wang Yan pleaded, tears streaming down his face, his eyes filled with sincerity. If Tang San were here, he would want to ask him, are you trying to be funny now? In terms of talent and ability, Wang Yan certainly fell short. But he could even rival the Rhino clan's bloodline in terms of sheer thickness of the skin. Mei Gongzi slowly lowered the peacock plume in her hand and said indifferently, leave. Don and Appos, tea spoil my mood. Yes, yes, Wang Yan breathed a sigh of relief, quickly got up from the ground and prepared to run. Wait, Mei Gongzi spoke again. Wang Yan quickly turned around, his face obsequiously asking, "Crown successor with the golden crown. Do you have any other orders?" "Clean these crossbow bolts before you leave," she said flatly. "All right." Wang Yan hurried forward, and the other 4 peacock demons also managed to get themselves off the ground. The effect of Peacock Valor's intimidation had worn off, and they didn't want to make Mei Gongzi use it again. Mei Gongzi deactivated her transformation and sat back down by the campfire. Wang Yan and his subordinates quickly cleaned the crossbow bolts and neatly placed them in front of Mei Gongzi. Then they slowly backed away and promptly disappeared into the darkness. Mei Gongzi looked in the direction they left, murmuring to herself, "A peacock demon race that has lost its pride, still dreaming of returning to the ancestral court?" From Wang Yan, one could see the decline of the peacock demon race. Once mighty demons, even contenders for the leadership of the ancestral court, they had failed in the end but left a glorious mark in history. However, due to the absence of a demon emperor, the peacock demon race had declined. Otherwise, they wouldn't be just overseeing the remote Kali city. She picked up a cleaned black gold crossbow bolt, examining it closely. The crossbow bolt had intricate patterns and grooves, and even had a tiny array etched into it. It seemed that the function of the array was to prevent the bolt from making a sound, as it was completely quiet even when she swung it through the air. The craftsmanship of this crossbow bolt was the most exquisite Mei Gongzi had ever seen. Did Azura make this? It and Appo's. As such a delicate weapon. His aura didn't feel very powerful. He's definitely not stronger than me, at least. Yet, this crossbow bolt injured 5 peacock demons. Even though they're weaklings, they're still peacock demons with top-tier bloodlines, and at the 8th order to boot. So what exactly is this weapon? At that moment, her eyebrows rose slightly. A figure appeared from the flames, towering in front of her like a massive beast. "Your companions are approaching. They must be coming back to check on the situation," Zhang Haoshuan said with a smile. "Then why are you still here?" Mei Gongzi looked at him. "I came to give you something." While speaking, he placed a godly Zhuge crossbow in front of Mei Gongzi. Seeing the crossbow, Mei Gongzi paused. "Did you intercept that person?" Zhang Haoshuan shook his head. "He appeared just to protect you with good intentions. He asked me to pass this godly Zhuge crossbow to you." Mei Gongzi picked up the godly Zhuge crossbow. Looking at its intricate structure, her eyes showed even more surprise. "He also asked me to tell you to take good care of yourself." While speaking, Zhang Haoshuan taught Mei Gongzi how to use the godly Zhuge crossbow. "Do you know who he is?" Mei Gongzi asked. Zhang Haoshuan shook his head. "I don't an Appo's Tino, but I felt that he had something that could threaten me, so I didn't an Appo's." T probe further. "However, his actions toward you seem benevolent. I just don't an Appo's. T know why he came. He is quite mysterious. But you shouldn't an Appo's. T have revealed your mark in front of him." I acted impulsively, thinking he was one of ours." Mei Gongzi lowered her head, fiddling with the godly Zhuge crossbow in her hands. "I should leave now. They are returning." Zhang Haoshuan and Appo's figure flashed and again merged into the flames, disappearing. Mei Gongzi collected the Zhuge divine crossbow and the crossbow bolts in front of her. She took a small pot from her spatial bracelet and started brewing milk tea. Soon, a surprised voice rang out, "Are you all right? Where are they?" Following that, the teammates of the Beauty and the Beast team, one by one, returned to the camp with embarrassed faces. They all had expressions of surprise. Seeing Mei Gongzi sitting there, calmly drinking milk tea, they sensed something was amiss. How come she wasn't an Appo's? Tea taken away. What's happening? Those were 5 8th order demons. "I and Appo's am tired. I need to rest," Mei Gongzi said without glancing at Song Junho, and quietly returned to her tent. Song Junho and the other demon race students exchanged glances, their faces a mix of disbelief and incredible embarrassment. Although they had been clearly blasted away by their opponents, their escape had been just a bit too smooth and they had taken just a bit too long to return. "What should we do, Captain?" the bear demon asked in a low voice. "Let and Appo's rest first. It seems Wang Yan and his group have already left. We can only wait to ask when we return. What about our training mission?" "Everything as usual. I don't and Appo's. Know how she did it. Could it be that the peacock demons are also protecting her in secret?" Then, Song Junho frowned deeply, waved his hand, and didn't let his teammates continue. He was feeling rather irritable. He had already made his decision earlier, but now he felt that he might have picked the wrong side. Mei Gongzi seemed to be different from what he had imagined at Ayan school. She always maintained a very low profile. Though she bore the bloodline of the city lord and Appo's lineage, she was, after all, a human-demon hybrid, not a pure demon. Therefore, the girls from the demon race were unwilling to befriend her, and even deliberately distanced themselves from her. Yet she remained calm and cold throughout. The peacock demon race might have declined, but it was still a top-tier race. Song Junho approached her partly because of her genuine beauty, which bore a softness not found in demon females, and more importantly, because he had heard that Mei Gongzi might be a potential successor to the peacock demon king. Despite finding it unbelievable, he thought befriending her could lead to good relations with the peacock demons. That was until Wang Yan appeared. The threat of Wang Yan was something he couldn't and oppose to ignore, as Wang Yan was the legitimate eldest son and had brought many strong figures with him. In that short minute, he had reached the conclusion that it made far more sense to befriend Wang Yan. But who could have imagined that things would go against his wishes, ending up? After their earlier escape, they hadn't and oppose gone far and wanted to observe the battlefield. But before they could settle down and turn to look, Mei Gongzi and the peacock demons had already disappeared. Everything had happened so fast that they hardly understood what had occurred. Yet at this moment Mei Gongzi was still there, while Wang Yan and his party were gone, vanished into thin air. What did this mean? Tang San silently returned to his quarters, acting as if nothing had happened. He relieved Gu Li, who was on night watch, allowing him to rest, and took over the night watch himself. After all, with the mood he was in, rest was the last thing on his mind. Leaning against a large tree, Tang San looked at his palm. It seemed to still carry the faint fragrance from her palm. Despite the situation and Appo's urgency, Tang San vividly remembered her hand and Appo's cool and soft touch. Her hand was cold. Was she afraid of the cold? Even though he knew Mei Gongzi was at least a sixth-order cultivator, he couldn't and Appo's help but feel such emotions. This was the first time he had made physical contact with Mei Gongzi since arriving, and the impact was profound. Even now, he felt his heart palpitating. It took quite a while before Tang San gradually calmed down. He had appeared before Mei Gongzi as the mas de jura to protect her better. After all, his real identity couldn't and Appo's be easily exposed. The mystery of Azura allowed him to do many things his real identity couldn't and Appo's He could fight more freely too. Mei Gongzi would undoubtedly be puzzled by his abilities, including the godly Zhuge crossbow, so he had decided to give her one for self-defense. He had never expected that she would be a blue-class member of the Redemption Society, one of the highest-ranking members in Kali City. He had once thought about getting her to join, but who could have known that she already was a member? This was good news, as they shared the same ideals, saving him a lot of trouble. Mei Gongzi was his wife and Appo's reincarnation. After reincarnation, everything from her previous life was forgotten, except for a tiny imprint in her soul, making her essentially a new person. When Tang San chose to die for love and be reborn to pursue her, he considered many scenarios. For example, whether her reincarnation was human didn't matter. As long as she could cultivate, he could find a way to help her regain her human form. He also wondered how he would react if Mei Gongzi was not as beautiful in her new life. His love would allow him to accept her no matter her appearance, because the imprint of her life, her soul, was still that of the person he deeply loved. What Tang San worried about the most was ideological differences. For instance, if a different environment made Mei Gongzi into someone whose ideals completely clashed with his, what then? He had considered all these possibilities, but in reality, it seemed that none of this had happened, and everything was extending in the best possible direction. This was already a perfect outcome that brought him great comfort. Although this world is highly unfriendly to humans, as long as he could be with the person he loved the most, he was willing to change those unfriendly aspects. Tang San and Appo's feelings were complex at this moment, but more than complexity, there was joy. He was genuinely happy to have followed Mei Gongzi this time, protecting her in secret, as this had allowed him to learn many more of her secrets. Perhaps this protection was not crucial to Mei Gongzi, as she could resolve all troubles alone, but it was essential to Tang San, as he now had fewer qualms when it came to her. Some of the things he had worried about were gradually being resolved. This was the situation he most hoped to see because it meant all he needed to do was to be as good to her as possible. Of course, Tang San also realized some problems, such as his strength not being sufficient to protect her properly. Although Tang San and Appo's improvement had been very rapid, primarily through devouring plant life force in the Kali Academy store to enhance his cultivation, he limited the amount he devoured each time to avoid being discovered. If Mei Gongzi herself could resolve the threat brought by 5 8th Order peacock demons, then to catch up with her and become a strong protector for her, he at least had to reach the 8th Order. And now he still had a considerable distance to reach the 8th Order, and he had to continue to work hard. Even the best hidden weapons were just external objects. Moreover, the hidden weapons he had produced were far from sufficient to face strong enemies properly. While cultivating, it was also time for him to start showcasing his skills. The moment had come for the 3 primary mechanical hidden weapons of the Tang sect to make their appearance. From now on, he needed to start searching for materials suitable for their creation. The 3 primary hidden weapons of the Tang sect included the first-rank Buddha and Appo's Fury Tang Lotus, the second-rank Torrential Pear Blossom Needle, and the third-rank Peacock Plume. The Buddha and Appo's Fury Tang Lotus was the most difficult to craft, the Torrential Pear Blossom Needle required the most stringent materials, and the Peacock Plume was the most complex. With the resources and abilities currently available to Tang San, the third-rank Peacock Plume was the only one he was confident in crafting. Coincidentally, Mei Gongzi belonged to the Peacock Demon race. Tang San decided this would be the next gift he would present to her. As his thoughts gradually calmed down, Tang San silently circulated the mysterious heaven technique in Appo's energy throughout his body, adjusting his state. With the continuous enhancement of the 6th bloodline imprint, Blue Silver Emperor, and the absorption of life energy from various heavenly and earthly treasures, Tang San and Appo's overall condition had improved significantly. The immense life force refining his body made his meridians more resilient, and his physical strength slowly grew as well. Propelled by this vast life force, the realm of his mysterious heaven technique was also approaching the peak of the 6th Order. However, without a doubt, breaking through from the 6th to the 7th Order was a qualitative leap, and it was not so easy to overcome this threshold. Tang San had a way now, of course. If he took and devoured a precious treasure plant from the Academy store in Appo's vault, he could potentially make a breakthrough. But that would undoubtedly be draining the pond to get all the fish. Once an item was stolen, it would inevitably be discovered by the Academy store, turning it into a one-off deal. Therefore, to break through to the 7th Order, he had to progress step by step, accumulating a lot before making a breakthrough. Tang San was very aware of his uniqueness. The Celestial Fox vision greatly aided him, allowing him to avoid many troubles and making his cultivation smoother. However, the Celestial Fox vision also had its issues, and there was a hidden danger to Tang San that even luck couldn't mitigate. Tang San had consulted Zhang Haoshuan about this issue, and, combined with various changes in Dubai, he could draw a couple of conclusions. Due to the favor of fortune, the Celestial Fox race could be considered an incredibly logic-defying existence in this plane, and this defiance came with a price. Namely, the Celestial Foxes could not cultivate other abilities than the Celestial Fox vision, and remained physically frail. Tang San and Appo's existence was undoubtedly unique. He obtained multiple demonic god transformation imprints by cultivating the mysterious heaven technique. Furthermore, after integrating the Celestial Fox transformation, he was recognized by this plane. A god was an existence that transcended the ordinary and entered the sacred, detached from yet dependent on the plane. Gods could be said to be the guardians of the plane in a sense. Tang San and Appo's abilities did not belong to this plane, yet he utilized its resources as best as possible. Once he broke through to the god level, he would inevitably be subjected to this plane and Appo's overall scrutiny, and if anything wrong happened, he might even be targeted by the entire plane. The more his cultivation increased, the more deeply Tang San felt this issue, and he often pondered how to resolve this problem before he reached that level. Otherwise, he feared that he would be unable to complete the breakthrough and would be suppressed by the plane during the process.